falling on a fucking toilet bowl. Fucking nothing. But I'll be alright, I think. It's not my fucking aneurysm that killed me. Maybe it'll be this. Who knows?
Request to become a keeper of the violet flame. Visualization, focused attention, and an emotional, earnest sense of gratitude are the keys to activating and effectively using the violet flame. Focus on your inner vision, the third eye, and if you do not already have the ability to see colors or visualize, it will develop over time. If you faithfully keep up the practice of decreeing and repeating affirmations while meditating on the violet flame. Twice every day would be ideal, however, any time you devote to this practice will be beneficial. Envisioning with your sacred mind, centering within the sacred heart, and feeling God's presence within, as you make the following statement, will initiate the activation of the dormant seed atoms within your 4 lower bodies. They will begin to vibrate, move, and change within and around you. As you grow more proficient, your ability to radiate the transforming violet flame will increase, and it will flow forth from you in a greater and greater concentric circle. Take several deep breaths, or if you are familiar with the infinity breath, do a series of 12 sacred breaths before beginning your request. I ask that the violet flame of forgiveness blaze through and around me, now and henceforth, expanding moment to moment to the maximum that cosmic love will allow, until I am free from every belief which is less than the reality of my perfect God nature. I am the presence of God made manifest in the physical world of form.
Go ahead. Located this vehicle. Can I give you a type marker to run, please? Go ahead to the marker. Echo 94, X-ray, Kilo Lima. Support. Before I go through it. Go ahead. 1060 on a 2006 black Dodge Dakota. It is authorized to circulate. The RO is a Liam Overchuck out of Riviera, Quebec. And the RO is subject to a zero presence of alcohol prohibition. Okay, 10-4, it appears that they may be camping here. We're still looking around. 10-4.
Form, and I accept my divine birthright and my mission now. Surrounded in the radiance of my Father, Mother, God, I call forth the energies of the sacred fire of transformation from within my diamond core God cell, which dwells within the nucleus of my sacred heart. In the name of the I am that I am, I invoke the violet flame to blaze forth from the seed atom within the center of my sacred heart. From the white fire core of my I am presence, multiplied by the 7th ray qualities and virtues of Archangels Zadkiel and Lady Amethyst, and the divine power granted to the Blessed Ascended Masters, Saint Germain and Lady Portia, I hereby decree. I hereby agree to become a keeper of the violet flame. I call forth the divine sacred fire to permeate my physical vessel to its very core, and to activate my soul memory of full God consciousness and the original blueprint of my universal destiny. I call forth the violet transmuting flame to permeate my mental, emotional, physical, and etheric bodies, my soul, my DNA, and RNA, in order to transmute cause, core, record, and memory of any past, present, or future lifetimes, in this or any other reality that is less than perfection, any and all that is not in alignment with the will of our Father, Mother God, for my greatest good and the greatest good of all. I also petition the Cosmic Council of Light to consider my request to join the group of world servers. I will faithfully integrate and radiate out into the world the maximum amount of adamantium particles of light and transforming violet flame my physical vessel can contain. I will always strive for my greatest good, the highest good for humanity, the earth and all creation. I will do everything in my power to serve faithfully and be worthy of this great honor. By becoming a world server, you will join other aspirants who are striving to achieve group consciousness and who have a burning desire to assist humanity. Intuitive thought and guidance from members of the Cosmic Council will become the norm, and your knowledge of the highest cosmic truth will be greatly accelerated, as well as the process of ascension. The Masters of the Cosmic Council of Light do not openly teach in public. They convey inspired concepts through their disciples and initiates to those who are ready to receive the higher teaching. The more advanced initiates work mostly behind the scenes. However, a select group is actively teaching out in the world, for inspiring world servers is their most important task. Beloveds, there are world server pyramids being formed in each of the subplanes of the fifth dimension, and also in the lower subplanes of the sixth dimension. As your energetic signature resonates to a higher frequency, you will gain access into the next higher dimensional world server pyramid. As you are lifted up, so will be those following behind you. As you strive to perfect your skills as a world server, we have been given a divine dispensation to assist each of you to the limit that universal law allows. Know that we will magnify every benevolent effort you make. As you advance on the path, your radiance will make a profound difference as we all gather to lighten the world and ease the way for humanity. I am with you now and forevermore. You are loved most profoundly. I am Archangel Michael. So be it. The vibrational patterns of the violet flame are the only ones which are accessible both from above, via the crown chakra and the sacred breathing technique, as well as from within the earth. Envision this beautiful flame blazing up from beneath your feet, surrounding your body, as it transmutes any discordant vibrational frequencies you may have around you, before radiating the sacred flame forth out into the world, into greater and greater concentric circles.
Fargo 302, go ahead.
Company 301, that is location. Could you amend me to that?
10-4, he's in the North Cobalt area. If you just take Rourke Street and onto Cobalt Avenue, follow it to the OSC Lima 182 trail.
I'll go out that way. I'm out there.
10-4.
Okay, can you give me a 21? 10-4.
This is Lamia, community leader, PD customer. We just surprised her.
My turn? You still here? Alright. Willow of the living grow. And God said, forgiveness, release, and transformation.
Fargo 301. Female 1016, negative C9, no 27.
Okay, 10-4. I'll be clearing here shortly.
10-4. Northern Fargo 305. Go ahead. We're clear from the hospital. That female's back on board en route to detachment for a ticket. 10-4.
North Bay, Echo 401.
Go ahead.
Daddy from the hospital, under to Timmins, pulling EMS. Basic deal in with EMS.
10-4. I'll make an escort occurrence.
10-4X. And where am I switching over? Top group.
Alright, stand by one.
Okay, let me refresh it there. Do you want a little bit of everything? Hopefully we don't get disconnected every 2 minutes. Alright, hopefully we don't get disconnected, so you get to have your chance here. Ooh. Josh Gallagher, Boots of Mine. Chinese drum performance at Mid Valley, Kuala Lumpur. Walking on cars, TikTok. Somebody's gotta be country. Easton Corbin. The ecstasy of sacred love. Jacob Dylan, the Wallflower Heroes. Becoming your true self, the psychology of Carl Jung. Alan Partridge. Anuka Zenith. Oh, Batman, TV spot. Low Cash Cowboys, country. And God said dissolving the veil, thought by thought.
Fargo 401.
401.
Fargo 401. You can stay on this talk group until you reach 11 in the Rogers Road area, so north of Englehart. And then that's when you can switch over to 3 Opso 4. And then once you do that, once you're north of Kirkland Lake, Susquehanna area, I'll let you know when to switch over to the Lima units.
Sorry, North Bay, 10-9.
Once you switch over, you'll be able to stay on the Gulf the Kirkland Lakes talk group until you get north of Siskiyou, and I'll advise you when to switch over then to 3 ops 193.
I'm clear, and I'll send you a clearing your FPS.
10-4.
Copy, 49304.
49304, go ahead.
Okay, sir. You must know for 491 Naperville, second IOP
10-4.
Alright. God said, dissolving the veil thought by thought. Oh, Tom Morello, hold the line. Judas by Lady Gaga. Lindsay Sterling, Sleepwalking. Churches, Death Stranding. Black Adam, trailer. Rise, Lagertha. David, Making Faces, Mac Miller. And God said, surrender to God. Prayer, Inori. Quiet Bison, Blight. Painted Black, Sierra. Discovery of the Essene Gospel of Peace. No, that's an hour. Salvatore Ganacci, Fight Dirty. Alexandra San, All My People. Odessa, A Moment Apart. No, that's an hour. Lifa, Maria Franz of Helam. Children of the Light, a message from Gaia.
Birthday for code 305. Go ahead. You can show us back conference attachment. 10-4.
I got you. Slowed, Steel Hope. The Batman trailer. Deadly Valentine, Charlotte Gainsbourg. Rez, no, that's not. One Night in Bangkok. Remix. Rome, So. Marine and Diamonds, Prima Donna. Alan Walker, Boy in Space Paradise. Christian Loeffler, Herbs, Electronica, no, that's not. Save Your Soul, Pete Sands. Ruel, The Other Side. Apache, The Good, The Bad, and The Fake. Oh. Willow Grove. Avril Lavigne. Gospel of God's Love. Miss You, Hoodie Up. Falling, Moses Boyd. Get Some, Likely. Beyonce, Beautiful Liar. Nothing Without You, Panarel. Healing Tones from the Desert Kingdom. You want that one?
You're not Julius Caesar, okay? No, I'm not. You didn't think big enough. What if?
Moonshine Bandits, Whiskey River, and God Said.
Company 4 Lima 304. 4 Lima 304, go ahead. We're beginning. Differ.
Moonshine Bandits, Whiskey River, and God Said, Accessing the New World. Queen Herbie, Abracadabra.
4 Golf 302, clear copy, noise complaint in town, 24 Wood Street, Unit 3. Noise complaint, 24 Wood Street, Unit 3. Complainant Ashley Baker advising that there is loud stomping coming from above. A landlord has been advised. She's asked them to stop. The resident swore at her. The complainant has 2 large dogs. If you wish to speak to her, she'll have to put them away. Nothing further.
Okay. Have another turn here. Moonshine Bandits, Whiskey River, and God Said, Accessing the New World. Queen Herbie, Abracadabra. Walking on Cars, Don't Mind Me. Bob Dylan, Bootleg Series. Color Me Blue, A King. This time with Alan Partridge texting his daughter. Partridge. Oh my God. Okay, Barnes Country, Count Courtney, Sinners. Yeah? To the regular one, see if there's a regular video. This one's a slow reverb lyric one.
Каждый вечер, когда его уходит, я переживаю очень, я боюсь, чтобы ничего плохого, чтобы ничего нет.
Smiling face, I haven't seen much of late. I need you now, cannot wait, but when I'm looking all around, never mind what we do, and I'm still good for a gram or two. I'll be drinking late with you until the morning comes around. Yeah, I'm just looking for something.
Apartment number. Destroying the mail parties, 1052 Drive, Province wide, nothing further. 10-4.
an empty nest. More vote.
Beloved Masters, it is important for you to remember that service is an integral part of the ascension process. Many of you have come to Earth from far distant star systems as cosmic messengers. Time and time again, you have been bearers of truth and cosmic wisdom. However, the task you agreed to for this lifetime is more important than any other you've ever experienced, since you came into your individualized consciousness as an aware spark of divinity. Much of what you are learning as you traverse the path of ascension is a remembrance of what you've already experienced. We have stressed the fact that what we are asking of you, you have done many times before, so it will not seem so unattainable. That is why so much of the history and detail of the past we relate to you seems so familiar. You now have greater and greater amounts of cosmic life force energy available to you. However, you are responsible for how you utilize that energy. You must stay firmly grounded upon the earth as you reach higher and higher into the refined dimension of expression.
For Lima 202. For Lima 202, go ahead. We're today from 1366, Richard Crescent. Just an FYI, we spoke to the RO of that vehicle that the MTO was going on. He's going to make arrangements tomorrow morning to pick up this vehicle.
Beloved Masters, it is important for you to remember that service is an integral part of the ascension process. Many of you have come to Earth from very experienced. We have stressed the fact that what we are asking of you, you have done many times before, so it will not seem so unattainable. That is why so much of the history and detail of the past we relate to you seems so familiar. You now have greater and greater amounts of cosmic life force energy available to you. However, you are responsible for how you utilize that energy. You must stay firmly grounded upon the earth as you reach higher and higher into the refined dimension of expression. And it is of vast importance to your physical well-being that you
passed back along from the concrete units. Apparently that vehicle did not stop or has since left the snowplow turnaround heading southbound. Any chance you've seen a black trailer with wood in the back and a white cab?
Taking a head northbound, but it's probably past my location at this point. Maybe 302 could start heading northbound as well, just in case it's past me.
And 402 is just east of Matheson right now, past the 672. Sorry, the 572. I'm on Highway 11. I've been headed southbound, but I'll keep an eye out when I head back northbound for it. That's 10-4.
Learn to balance and harmonize your energetic grid system, called your auric field, or Adam, Eve, Cadman, perfected body of light. You may draw forth as much of the essence of divinity as you can hold. However, after integrating everything personally.
Just getting the ambulance assist on Boston Deep Creek Road. Are you clear to copy details? Go ahead with details. Ambulance calling. Address is 1482 Boston Creek Road. Near South Mendoza Road. They're saying it's 8 kilometers from Highway 564. It's right on the border between the Gulf and Echo units. It's for newborn baby. Correction, a baby has been born that is not breathing. Nothing further at this time.
No.
306, I copy that. I'm in Liskeard right now. If there's a Gulf unit that can make their way.
Why isn't there a fucking ambulance being called? Fucking dummy.
For Golf 002, 10-4, the directions we were provided was its address is 4182 Boston Creek Road near South Mendoza Road. It's 8 kilometers south of 564. 64 on Boston Creek.
10-4. Hurry on the Boston Creek Highway.
Where's the fucking ambulance? Did she call an ambulance? Is this a fucking criminal matter? What the fuck?
What I can see on my map.
Oh, she better have called an ambulance.
10-4. And EMS there.
Negative, they are en route. Don't have any other information. I'm going to call just to see if this is a home birth or if this is just a newborn.
10-4. And who's calling it?
North Bay ambulance. I'll get their completed information.
Aw. Come on, little baby. Oh.
Sunday for Golf, LO2. Can you run that address, please?
You must radiate forth the remainder
I
on your
just stood with on 21 with
You cannot
EMS.
force
They're
God's life
advising that
on
this
this
is
message
stillbirth.
and
The complainant is the mother. Appears to be unexpected.
Fuck.
shared for the benefit of all. Please be aware that there is limited access to the power and the magical transformative properties of the violet flame within the push-pull duality of the third, lower, fourth dimensional environment. However, when you attain a level of harmonious vibrational patterns that attune you to the mid-fourth dimension, you gain access to the divine alchemy of the violet flame. And you also have the ability to draw forth the transforming adamantium particles of third consciousness. While existing within the lower dimensions of limitation and chaos, it is almost impossible to consistently radiate unconditional love from your heart center. As you awareness
Sorry,
the
I know
creative
you're
particles
seeking
of light.
information, but do you have any further information? If she's alone, if she's with someone? That's negative. Ambulance didn't have much information for me. I'll have to call them back to get further. I'm just trying to look up the address to see if we have anything. Are you doubled up? Yeah, that's 10-4. Thank you. 10-4. Who's in the unit?
Is it important to get that right now, bitch?
South Valley, and then Regional. 10-4, thank you.
Must be activated via your altruistic, loving intention. Be aware, beloveds, that at each higher level of God light you attain, the power of the violet flame and the quantity of white fire particles of creation increase exponentially. There are two streams of collective consciousness thought forms surrounding the earth at this time, instead of one swirling maelstrom of negative thought patterns that has, up until now, made up the aura of the earth. The negative band of distorted energy is an accumulation of many thousands of years of fear, hate, self-serving interest, and actions. It has created the shadow side of the broad spectrum of light and shadow, the illusional world in which humanity has existed since the fall into what could be termed a semi-conscious state of awareness. Most of humanity has been caught up and stuck in third, fourth dimensional form of mind control throughout their many lifetimes, for they have been ensnared in the belief of their forefathers, racial, political, cultural, religious. Many dear souls have hardly ever had any original thoughts of their own. The negative mass conscious belief system is all about doom and gloom, unworthiness, strict rules and dogma that discourage original independent thinking, which has kept everyone in a state of guilt, fear, and inertia. This has been called the herd state, wherein everyone looked to their religious and ruling leaders to tell them what to do, think, and be. Every great religion began with inspired teachings from a great master who was given specific wisdom teaching to impart to humanity. Such leaders were overlighted by and under the direction of our Father, Mother, God. And during their lifetime, the concepts were adhered to and remained pure. However, upon the transition of the master over time, the teachings became distorted and were changed to suit the selfish interests of those in charge. They veered from the inspired truth and wisdom teachings, which were designed for the particular era to assist the masses in developing a personal relationship with our Father, Mother, God, as they strove to attain a certain level of self-mastery and enlightenment. We have said before, you are very brave to step outside of the popular belief system, the collective conscience of humanity, which has been a prison of sorts for so long. We know you have been criticized, scoffed, and ostracized and maligned in this and in your lifetime, beloved. However, we wish you to know that even though you are presently being a minority, your numbers are growing by leaps and bounds. Many of what have been called New Age concepts are filtering into the minds and conversations of masses, and the belief in angels and interaction with things of light from the higher realm is no longer so distorted as it has been in the past. The good news is that there is a new band of higher frequency connected planets and far flowing and circling the earth of ordinary desire. This band of energy is filled with light, hope, and strong desire for self-expression and mastery. Gradually, the crystalline grid system is encompassing the earth, and the creator conscious band is growing stronger every day as more and more of the access to stage of life have become conveyed as animating particles of creation. The masses are beginning to question their leaders and are holding them accountable for their action. More and more people are beginning to question the dogmatic rules and restrictions of organized religion and are seeking their own higher truth by alternative means. We understand that a great majority of earthly souls are in the throes of pain, suffering, and uncertainty. Unfortunately, those who are caught up in the collective conscious belief system do not learn the lesson of turbulent times. They do not understand that the painful situations that they are experiencing have been created by excessive and imbalanced thoughts and actions. The karmic laws of cause and effect are returning to the cycle. That which has been created must be repeated in the past so that it can be rectified and qualified. Every soul on earth at this time, the most important life task is to strive to return to balance and harmony within both the inner and outer worlds of existence. Those of you who agreed to come into physical incarnation for such a good time brought with you the major lessons on balance. Balances in your physical, mental, emotional bodies that need to be harmonized so that you can begin to work compatibly with your soul or higher self. You have come into this lifetime to balance your masculine and feminine nature, to use the divine will, power, and authority of the Father Creator, but also to integrate the love, wisdom, compassion, nurturing, and creative aspect of the Mother Creator. You came to experience the earth and be fully in the physical body, while integrating spirit into your physical being and consciousness. You are here to balance knowledge and communication, to learn through intuition what your own thoughts are, and to live those truths as an example for others. To learn the balance of communication skills, when to speak and when to hold your silence. To be non-judgmental, learning that you each are your own individual path and have your own lessons to learn. For those of you who have listened to the whispering of spirit and who have stepped into the path of enlightenment, it is time for each of you to remember that the earth is not your home. You're on assignment here. You are from far distant star systems and galaxies, possibly even other universes. It is time for you and many faithful warriors of peace, light, and love.
Ambulance advised that they are currently on Boston Creek Road attempting to locate the address. They're saying that it's hard to find. They'll let us know once they're on scene. It is a female patient, unknown age. All they she's bleeding.
Magnificent you are, and how brave you were to answer the clarion call to descend into the density of this earthly experiment. The events in your galaxy, solar system, on Earth are quickly moving forward, and great change is the offing. Therefore, it's important that you focus on what is right in your world and not get caught up in all the negativity and fear. That are spewing out into the ethers. Remember, you give energy to that which you focus your attention to. It is time for you to step fully into self-mastery and reclaim your divine birthright. You have wonders like packets of information stored within your sacred mind, just waiting to be called forth. As you build and perfect your pyramid of light in the fifth dimension, you will find that your creations will manifest more and more quickly. Teaching by example is one of the most effective ways to show others how to become masters of their own destiny. Always ask for the highest outcome and for the good of all. You will not be led astray.
That's 10-4. Golf 002 just wanted me to let you know it's the last house on the left down the Boston Creek Highway.
Yeah, that's important. That's that highway from the east side of the highway.
564, I take it to the end, I believe. Is that correct, 002?
Yeah, 10-4. On the east side.
We know it is not easy to step out of your comfort zone, for you have allowed others to make you doubt yourself and your abilities. We ask you to be a great example of those around you, those who are stuck in culture, beliefs, and limitations of the collective conscious of humanity. Each of you has experienced life many times as either a male or female body. You have also experienced the physical destiny in a great variety of races, forms, and cultures. Beloved, when you judge others, you are only really judging yourself, for you have experienced most all of the many facets of earthly existence. It is a great privilege to be allowed to incarnate on Earth, and there's always been a list of millions upon millions of souls waiting to experience the physical reality that the Earth has to offer. You are no exception, for you were anxious to experience earthly creation in as many ways and expression as possible. Therefore, as the veil of illusion is gradually lifted, you will develop great understanding and compassion for those who are stuck in the pain and suffering of the third, fourth dimension. Distorted reality. We are asking you to become a brave example for those around you. As you dare to step out and claim your mastery, others will follow your example. Many of you are experiencing divine discontent, as well as a dramatic life change at this time. Things that used to bring you pleasure no longer satisfy, and you may have lost any common interest with many of your friends. This is because your soul self is nudging you to move forward, to expand your vision, and to take control of your destiny. You must let go of preconceived ideas about the structure of your life. You must let go of beliefs that keep you stuck in a binding set of structural boundaries. Letting go gives you the power to expand your consciousness and your picture of reality. The higher your vibrational pattern becomes, the more fluid the time-space continuum, or the sequence of timing events becomes. Structures become habits which bind you to the illusion of the third, fourth dimension. Do not become attached to the structured life you have created. It is important that you are willing to change your life to include new concepts as you expand your vision of awareness of the potential of the future. Never forget, you are co-creators either of pain, suffering, limitation, or of love, joy, peace, and abundance. The choice is yours. It is not by coincidence so many brave souls chose the seventh ray of transformation as their sole ray for this lifetime. See this blessed sacred fire blazing up around you, radiating out in ever-widening circles as you join others in helping to lift the conscience of humanity back into the frequencies of love light. Remember, during these times when the evolution of the earth and humanity is being accelerated, you can make a difference. We are aware that many of you are disturbed by all the negativity and injustice around you. However, deep within you know that a great change taking place will eventually be for the betterment of all. Be assured that you can be an instrument for change. Allow us to send forth the love of our Father, Mother, God to and through you, filling you to overflowing. Dear ones, your radiance and love light added to that of other light warriors will assist humanity and the earth to move gracefully into the wondrous new age of tomorrow. Know that you are dearly loved and you are under my protection. I am Archangel Michael. So be it.
Your turn. Alright, your turn. Ivor, Tukini, Vaughn, Tasmit, Mir. That's just a monstrous use of a biro. Fuck that is. Bob Dylan, Two Sisters. St. Paul, 1960. Barnes Courtney, Hellfire. Country Boy Thing, Dance. Fantastic Underwater, no, 3 hours. And no. We Found Love, Lindsay Sterling. Black Adam, first look at the trailer. Sinfold, Drum Spirit. Walking on Cars. Yeah? Drum Spirit?
You need to say 4 months?
10-4. We saw, I think, EMS at the Roundley Fire Department, so they were behind us. You want to let them know that we're here. It's at the on the left-hand side in the last house.
10-4.
Holy fuck, like. Really? The ambulance is still not there. Do these cops know anything about fucking saving babies? Hope so. Because that's negligence on the OPP's part if the fucking baby could have survived.
4 calls for 002 for 003. Go ahead. Do me a favor and contact your detective sergeant up there and see if he wants to shoot into a 10-4. Yeah, 10-4.
Maybe that's the baby we kept seeing in the algorithm. Remember, and even yesterday, I put some things in the freaking thing and I had baby fetuses in there. But this is a 4-month-old, so. As if the ambulance is still not fucking there, going in fucking circles. How come these guys don't have fucking GPS, like to the point, you know? Like, where is this? Where is that? What the fuck? So driving fucking ambulance cars, I think, need to be fucking put into place. What the fuck, eh? This bitch's gotta go, man. She can't even coordinate a fucking party, I'm sure.
Echo 00. Thank you.
Echo 00310-4.
They're on their way out. They said there was a unit closer, but I'm looking on the map here. I'm not that far from you. I don't see anybody. Is still on paramedics there? Oh, there's no one here. We drove the entire highway. It was right at the end of the road, so we didn't see anyone. The only one we saw was at Roundley. Okay, 10-4. Yeah, I'm not far from here, north. If you can call ambulance back, so let them know they're that'd be the closest unit. They gotta turn around and come back.
10-4. I was on 21 with them, advising that another unit passed and said that no one else was around, so they're letting their medics know.
Okay, 10-4. Where the call seems to have dropped is way out, but it's not that far. It's just at the end of the highway they were on. So you can let them know it's only a few kilometers past where it has.
10-4. I did put the call where your 20 is Gulf 002. When we validate the actual street, it puts it down in the Echo unit area.
What the fuck, man? This bitch has gotta go. This fucking baby's dying fucking half an hour ago. Ambulance.
Sorry to go through. Can you just confirm with us when we have confirmation that ambulance is coming back?
10-4. I will let you know as soon as I do.
Alright, thank you.
Unfucking real. What kind of a fucking rigmarole is this? Every time it's a life-threatening situation.
You always just swing back and go back and get them.
Fucking dummies.
Yeah, you know what, that makes more sense at this point. If you don't mind. So I'll head back up.
That ambulance driver should be fired. Turns around. Oh, well, we can't find it. We'll turn around. No, we're not going back because it was cancelled. There's two of them, apparently. They're going there. Really? Where's one of them? None of them. What the fuck? This is a good one for the negligence fucking file. Hey, we're gonna get her fired in no time. Fucking cunt has no logistics fucking knowledge of anything. She doesn't know fucking up from down. She's got her fucking ass up in the air too long, I think. She's fucking disoriented. Unfucking real.
For both 008, do you want to sit at that bridge and I'll tell them to go right there?
If she's directing the ambulance and the cops, there's a fucking problem. Who's directing the ambulance? Unfucking real. Well, the baby was dead a long time ago. Who's performing CPR right now? A cop? On a baby? because it's been more than half an hour and there's no fucking ambulance that can make it there? What the fuck? And the mother's bleeding to death. Why is the mother bleeding? If the baby's 4 months. Oh, the baby. It's what? A 4-month-old baby or a 4-month-old fetus? Can't do CPR on a fetus. So, what the fuck?
Calling you to stand by for an alert for a missing person from North Bay Police Service. October 17, 2021, Tony Manitowoc was reported missing. Has not been heard from since August of 2021. Last texted the complainant stating, if you don't hear from me, look for me, as he was evicted from his residence on Castle Street at the end of August and has been of no fixed address since. Now, his bail party is located. He is 1063 for charges failed to comply, release order, and failed to attend court. Male is described as 6'2", 235 pounds, medium heavy build. He's First Nations, black hair, brown eyes. Any information regarding the missing male can be sent through to the North Bay Police Service. All 08. Ambulance should be approaching you momentarily for their dispatch. I told them that you'll be waiting at that bridge for them.
10-4, I am here.
Farley Metro 4 status check.
Farley Metro 4,
Thank you.
More than fucking 40 minutes to get a fucking ambulance there.
Golf 002. Just update the mother, Jessica. She says she's feeling okay. She's in the bathroom right now. She is on the toilet. And we're still continuing right there.
10-4.
I'm so mad. The response time of ambulance down here sucks. And police. Probably not the police's fault though. It's the dispatch center. It's fucked. All these fucking motherfuckers there who think that they know what they're doing don't. This is people's lives at stake. You gotta fucking do an employment evaluation every 6 months. Like, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Okay, well, you're failing at this too many times. You're a logistical fucking nightmare. And you don't know how to fucking coordinate a fucking emergency. So you're out of here. No? I don't know. If I was the OPP, I'd fucking make sure I had the best person for the fucking job. Especially when there's people's fucking lives at stake. Nope. I got the job here because my daddy or my cousin or my uncle or my mom works here.
10-4.
And that's why I work here, because I know somebody that is a cop. I don't know how to do my fucking job, and they're gonna keep me because I've been here for so fucking long, and how many people have died, and how many people have been defamed, and how many times has she fucking identified a youth over the air? How many times has she said the wrong fucking rap sheet that belonged to the wrong person? How many times is there a logistical nightmare where cops are going around in fucking circles when she's working? At least fucking 4 times I could think of. At least 4 major fucking situations of logistical nightmares, just like this one. There was another time where the fucking kid was at her grandma's, eh? Every fucking cop was going up and down the fucking 144 looking for this fucking accident. And then the other one with the kid.
0222 Ormsby. Bernie Boudreau is going to meet you here outside and bring you to where you need to be. Alright, then we're still there.
Flying a TRUDEAU status check.
Everything is 10-4 here for a good so much today.
10-4.
Yeah, okay, Cody. It's all good, thanks, Max.
And now, because of this logistical nightmare, those officers are going to be traumatized there. Right? Doing this to a little baby. So I could think of at least 4 fucking, this one, the fucking kid, the go gamut incident. Anyways, in no time at all, I'll have this fucking scanner shut down, and I'll have her fucking fired. And the other one, too. The other fucking bitch. The older one. I don't know. She seems like she sounds older. She's so fucking hard to get information from.
With reading difficulties. Reading and studying always go together. Yeah, it's gonna be your turn. Hold on. Are you taking note about this fucking negligence? Fuck, it pisses me off. Lives are at stake here. Like, we're not talking, you know, like a fucking a sale. You know, like, oh, I missed a sale. I'm gonna turn around. I can't find out. So I'm supposed to go do the sighting here. There's another guy supposed to be coming, so I'll just turn around. What the fuck? Anyway. I think it has more to do with first of all, GPSs are not an exact fucking science. And the GPS is only as good as the waypoints entered into it, right? So if the fucking house is not showing up on the map, like my fucking house, half the time when I go online to go do something and my address doesn't show. As if I don't exist here, this road. You know? Why? A lot of reasons why. So, yeah. So, like, when I want to get something shipped to me, or services, like internet, they say, nope, we don't provide services there, or, nope, we don't ship there. When they do. But it's just not showing up in their fucking system as a real fucking place. So if ambulance had to come here, and they were not from around here, good luck, you know? Maybe you might not find it. So that's what I'm saying, like, it's a logistical fucking nightmare. And there's not enough ambulances positioned where they should be. That's the government fucking duty. Okay? Really, like, the government had more funding for saving lives, then maybe, you know, we wouldn't have this. We'd have ambulances positioned everywhere along the highway. How many times? Oh, that's another time this bitch was working. There was a fucking accident in KL, and there was no fucking ambulance near. They had to get a fucking helicopter to come. Look at Brent. There's another situation. That was a male dispatcher that time, but that was another fucking ambulance disaster. They sent 2 ambulances, right? But one only got there on time? I don't know. Pretty sure it was a cop fucking driving Brent in his own vehicle to the fucking hospital at that point. Yeah. When it takes over 40 minutes for an ambulance to get to a dying baby, there's a fucking problem. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about it now. Who knows how long the baby was dead for before she called the fucking ambulance, too. Right? You never know. There's all kinds of things that go into that. But the response time, that's what I'm fucking pissed about. And that bitch working. She can't do her job. When the cops always have to ask her to do something, like, can you check if the ambulance is called? Can you find out? Can you do a CPIC? Can you do this for me? They shouldn't have to ask. No. It should have been done. She should have known. This is what I gotta do to make sure this goes good. No, I don't know. I wouldn't want the fucking job, but fuck, if you're gonna apply for it, make sure you're qualified. Don't just get hired because your daddy works there. Or your daddy's a cop, or your uncle's a cop, or your mom's a fucking cop. And that's how we all got jobs here at the communication center, because we all fucking knew a cop somewhere. Not because we're qualified or anything. And no, they won't fire me because they need good cause to do so. Well.
Go ahead.
Female Jessica's reporting a little bit of shock. They're going to be expediting quick here to get her out of the house right now.
Step 4.
I could be wrong about anybody else, so don't kid yourself, kid yourself. It's you right there in the mirror. You don't wanna hurt yourself. Looking too close. Looking too close.
Music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano. You don't work the piano. Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. And of course, we, because being a very compulsive and purposive culture, are busy getting everywhere faster and faster and faster till we eliminate the distance between places. I mean, with the modern jet travel, you can arrive almost instantaneously. What happens as a result of that is that the two ends of your journey become the same place. So you eliminate the distance, and you eliminate the journey. So the fun of the journey is travel, not to obliterate travel. So then, in music, though, one doesn't make the end of a composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest. And there would be composers who wrote only finales. People go to concerts just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end. Same way in dancing. You don't aim at a particular spot in the room. That's where you should arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance. And look at the people who live to retire and put those savings away. And then when they're 65, they don't have any energy left, they're more or less impotent, and they go and rot in an old people's senior citizens community. Because we simply cheated ourselves the whole way down the line. We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end, and the thing was to get to that end, success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or to dance while the music was being played. But
everything's done for.
You didn't let it happen. And so, in this way, the human being sometimes becomes an organism for self-frustration. Let's take Korzybski called man a time binder. That means that he's the animal peculiarly aware of the time sequence. And as a result of this is able to do some very remarkable things. He can predict. He studies what's happened in the past, And he says the chances of so-and-so of that happening again. So he predicts. So it's very useful to be able to predict, because that has survival value. But at the same time, it creates anxiety. You pay for this increased survival ability involved in prediction by knowing that in the end you won't succeed. They're all going to fall apart by one way or another. It might happen tomorrow, it might happen 50 years from now. But it all comes apart in the end. And people get worried about that, they get anxious. So what they gained on the roundabout, they lost.
Go ahead.
Can you get me the emergency number, please?
That's 10 Ford Echo 2108 13499.
Lost on the swings. So then, if you see, on the other hand, that existence, this is, as I said, my basic metaphysical assumption, which I won't conceal from you, that existence is musical in nature. That is to say that it is not serious. It is the play of all kinds of patterns. We can look upon different creatures as we look at different games, as we look at chess, checkers, backgammon, tennis. There's the tree game, the beetle game, the grass game, or you can look at them as you look at different styles of music, mazurkas, waltzes, sonata, etc., all down the line. There are all these different things doing their stuff. And we're doing that. Now, existence, you see, is something that is spontaneous. The Chinese word for nature, zhang, means that which happens of itself. Your hair grows by itself. Your heart beats by itself. You breathe pretty much by itself. Your glands secrete their essences by themselves. You don't have voluntary control over these things. So we say it happens spontaneously. So when you go to sleep and you try to go to sleep, you interfere with the spontaneous process of going to sleep. Try to breathe, real hard, and you find you get balled up in your breathing. So, if you're going to be human, you just have to trust yourself to have bowel movements and go to sleep and digest your food. Of course, if something goes seriously wrong and you need a surgeon, that's another matter. But by and large, the healthy human being doesn't, right from the start of life, need surgical interference. And he lets it happen by itself. So with the whole picture, that is fundamental to it. You've got to let go and let it happen. Because if you don't, you're going to be all clutched up. You're going to be constantly trying to do what can happen healthily only if you don't try.
Did you know there is a 2,000-year-old fruit that melts away fat?
Your personal wheel of creation, voice of wisdom. Monsters and men, wolves without teeth. Say my name, lighters up. Real estate agent caught breaking the law on hidden camera. Queen Herbie abracadabra. Ivar I Tukini. 9 Inch Nails, perfect drug. Sci-fi short film, FTL, dust. Oh, Morello, hold the line. You're developing your individual sunlight. Michael. Archangel Michael. The fascinating history of cemeteries. Keith Eggener. Shaman's Harvest. The End of Me. Novo Amor. Anchor. Barnes Courtney. Sinners. Where's that one? How to Calm the Voice Inside. Eckhart Tolle teaching. Rez.
002.
Go ahead.
Do you have Jessica's Pyro's date of birth?
I believe it's 1990, 0822.
That's for
Rez, let me in. Heather Booth. Long Comes the Girl. Ilium. Excision. Feel Something. Max Miller. Rain. And God Said Your Glorious Christ Did Heart. Apache. The Good, the Bad, and the Fake. Marina. No More Suckers. Adam Lambert, New Eyes. The River, Blue Saraceno. Blue Saraceno. We Found Love, Lindsay Sterling. Dorothy, What's Coming to Me. Cass, Follow Me. Bus Call. No, that's the next. Walking on Cars, TikTok. Children of the Light, Message from Gaia. Alan Walker, Boy in Space. Blue Stones, Shaking Off the Rust. Wow, Prayer. One Night in Bangkok. Valtteri, that's an album. Rome, Parade. Heilung, Al-Fahir Haiti. Barnes Courtney, You and I. Making Faces, Mac Miller. Easy on Me, Adele. Alua, Spirit X. Rather Die, Barnes Courtney. Beautiful Liar, Beyonce. Hold You Down, Ex-Ambassadors. Live at the Red Rock, no, that's an hour. Boy in Space, Alan Walker. Quiet Bison, Blight, Fortune. Barnes Courtney, 99. Green Tea, Tang, Nah, It Ain't the Same. Marshmallow, Alone. William Basinski, Water Music. Beyonce, Hold Up. Joey Silence, Cool Running. Third Eye Blind, Box of Bones. Ozzy Osbourne, No Place for Angels. David Guetta, Blue. The Killers, Dying Breed. Bud Heath, Sattva, Good Sex and Practices. We're the Devils, Carly Ann. Catherine Knight, Skin. Ex-Ambassador, Jamie and Common. Clutch, Electric Worry. Oakleaf, Unearthing. A Tribe Called Red, electric powwows, the rec laws. I do too. You still here? Black is the fire. Look alive. Bob Dylan, don't start me talking. Add the Joker back. Hollow coves, from the woods to the coastline. Scooter, how much is the fish? Apocalyptica, not strong enough. Children of light, a message from Gaia. Churches, Death Stranding. Congos, escape. I love it. Icona Pop. One true God, I see you. Urban country, gonna need a grave. Major laser, already. Walking on cars, TikTok. Black pistol fire, hope in hell. Ex-ambassador, grandson. Blackjack Billy, thread, or tread. Earth eater, scripture. You hold the key to your own magnificence, Archangel Michael. Lady Gaga, do what you want to my body. Quiet bison, light. Chainsmokers, young and interested. Young chainsmokers? Go look at the real video though. That's just the audio. Probably no. There is a video. Oh yeah.
Beloved ones, I am here with you to flood you with the truth of love, to fill your heart, your conscience now, with the indivisible truth of God and the power of the hologram of life. Most of you still have areas of the illusion on earth that grab your attention, that catch you, that make you believe that something other than love is real. In truth, beloved ones, love is all there is. And when you can feel this truth in your heart, then what is revealed as the world in your life is the radiant love of God, in which all are alive and eternally blessed, in which life sings itself in wholeness every moment. It is time to remember that you stand on the cusp of release from the dream of anti-life, of death, of lack, and of limitation. You are ready to be the power of love. First, you must remember that every single atom is only love, every electron, every quark. Therefore, this radiant presence emanates as everything and celebrates this unity of life from which nothing can truly be separate. So whatever your area of the ego mind's world that catches you, tumbles you, takes you for a ride, makes you believe that there is another side to this reality other than love, I want you to feel the truth of love's power as you stand in this place. Claim unity with all and feel the radiance of every atom and quark that is the same radiance as your own precious heart. When you feel this, hold it. Let it speak to your being. Then you will find all the visions of life now dissolving in full recognition that there is only one truth, one life, one God, one reality, one heart, and it is love. Let this be real to you now. Let it fill your every moment, and when next you are challenged to believe in the illusion, return to this place that is the truth, the reality that love is the one real thing. Hold it, feel it, allow heart perception. Step into this communion with me as the hologram until you find yourself as this very love, alive eternally and instantly reflected in your experience of life in the world. Whatever it is that pulls your attention and makes you believe in less than perfection, makes you believe in sickness or lack, makes you believe in other than love, stand firm in your heart and command the truth not only be revealed, but fully experienced until there is absolutely no doubt. The moment that you feel the reality of only love, stake your claim, beloved ones. Demand that it is yours. Let it fill you and exalt you. Let it lift you, that you might fly free from the dream of separation from me. Separation from this one life we share, and thus separation from the rest of your heart, the whole of humanity, and more. When you can feel just how much you have been perceiving as lacking, you will realize just how much the illusion can cost. And when you claim yourself as one with the truth, then you recognize in the essence of your being that you and love are one and the same. All that I am, you are. Standing here, ready to claim. This one life sings forth as your every electron, beams radiant into the world as your every precious atom. Embraces communion with all life as your heart, and celebrates the eternal truth of only life, only love, and only the abundance of God. Feel this. Claim this. Face your illusion, whatever they are, of sickness or fear, limitation or lack of powerlessness. Dive into the essence, to the atom, to the quarks, and expand your reality that this is your heart and only love is real. As you do this, you will find your conviction growing stronger, that the illusion of other than love is not yours and isn't real. And as you do, the resonance of the unified love I am takes up resonance in your life in the world, that you might shine, that you might be the example of moving through duality into the unity of God. The moment you do, all creation rejoices with you as you stake your claim on the truth of God. As you speak the words, I am love, you hold yourself firmly in this one radiant presence and face the misperceptions made manifest through the ego until your heart can feel it.
Those two eagles don't have plates on, so I'll stop the first one. It's a black car. One of you guys can stop the second one. It's a white car right behind me.
The moment that love is more real to you than separation, beloved ones, your experience of life begins to transform, be it instantly or through the perception of time. It is merely a matter of reclaiming your heart and the truth that it shows you. So, for example, you are dealing with illness. You must stand in the place where the illness feels real to you. Open your heart and move into the hologram until you feel a vibration of this one powerful love. As you do so, you will recognize that this is who you are. You will feel your expansiveness, your communion with me, and you will recognize pure life expressing its reality in all that you see, until you feel the vibration of love. Love to your being. You find yourself in harmony with all life you touch, and you allow the remembrance of the glory of your being through all perspectives.
North Bay's already got a traffic stop open, just let me know when you stop. Roger, thank you. Actually, for the first vehicle.
Now there's coordination. Fucking dispatcher's probably all fucked up. Like, what's going on? What are they doing?
Go ahead. So my vehicle is going to be a black Nissan Maxima. And for TRUDEAU, it's going to be white and Duke. And we're just south of the junction. I see you there.
To the universe and to the quarks. The full flood of unity and joy that you know, beloved ones, in your heart is the truth. You feel the alignment. You feel yourself dissolve and you recognize we are one, and therefore what I am has to be what you are. Every misperception can be dissolved by love, like an eraser on a chalkboard. Illusions are gone, and the one life I am is claimed as your own, and you are free. You are free from the horizontal arm of past and future, of being controlled as a little mind. You are free to experience this communion with God, with everything you touch, including yourself. You will recognize that the truth of love is ever right behind the illusion of separation that aren't real, that are of the mind. So much joy rises up and floods your consciousness that your every thought becomes as pure and holy communion. Your heart holds sway and every belief in anti-life is gone, until whatever it was your personal catching point is released, and you are standing purely in the light. Beloved ones, there is no death. Often you say you know these things with the mind, but you are not feeling it. It hasn't sunk through your whole being and spoken through every cell. It hasn't lifted you into communion with the moment of creation and all that is real. But dearest ones, it can. Now, for it is truth. Only love is real, and only love has life. Only love made manifest as your very self. This unique, magnificent expression of an aspect of this love I am, a love that is absolutely indivisible and eternal, This is waiting for you to recognize that all else is illusion. This love penetrates everything to reveal itself as the movement of life. Life is the truth of the hologram of love. Nothing else. It has no opposites. There cannot be real death. Vitality, eternally, limitless life, and love are the only truth. Therefore, illness cannot be real. You must reach through the illusion to the reality of your heart, dearest ones. State your claim that until you find yourself with absolute 100% conviction that behind every illusion or separation or other than love is the radiant truth of the one indivisible eternal love, the life of unity that is.
4 Alpha Alpha 5 Alpha Papa 1 Alpha Charlie 87154 Registered to a blue 2010 Nissan MSV, showing as rebuilt from July, it was issued in July 2021. Carl David Pearson out of Oshawa. 10-4, I'll try to get a little bit more documents from the drivers.
10-4, if you just want to look at MPS, just to confirm I wrote down the correct thing.
The same one.
10-4.
Copy that.
Go ahead with your end.
November 8 Alpha Foxtrot 5 Track 5 Mike Romeo 0 Charlie Tango 1 0 8 7 8 1.
Just confirming it was Alpha Foxtrot 5 Mike Romeo.
if you find yourself being hooked by the little mind's belief in lack, the same thing is waiting for the perception of your heart to feel through the illusion, to connect with the flow, to reclaim your ability to accept life directly. That's the abundance of God I am as the truth of yourself. 100.
He's on the as attached. There are tags for a marker that are valid until December 2021. The RO is Watif Hassan out of Mississauga.
Blessing of the hologram, that with faith unwavering you can step forth and trust that whatever you need is provided, that you are vibrant life and that you are eternal. Every atom of your body, of your being, can prove to you that you are indivisible from this one glorious life we share. The blessing of the hologram is a gift that will develop your conviction, your assurance of the truth. Because if you
just sitting your way. Just want to make sure all the stories line up, and then we should be good to go.
feel this love in anything, then it has to be 100% in you. It has to be the reality of everything, because that is the nature of a hologram. Every tiny piece contains a whole, regardless of what angle you are looking from. Each and every perception reveals the truth of God because, as you know, there is nothing else. So behind the illusion of lack, of illness, of death, you will find this abundant life has been waiting always. Reach through this duality where you believe in other thoughts and feel our communion in your heart, in your being, and reclaim the fullness of the truth right now, beloved ones. You will find that perfect life is fully present, totally real, eternal, unshakable, and glorious. It has been here all along while minds pretended otherwise. But now, dear ones, your hearts are open and you are ready to be free. You are ready to leap off the slide of time. You are ready to dive into the ocean of love. You are ready to allow this life to manifest its fullness in you, to be the timeless nature of love, to be my expression as pure and perfect peace and endless ecstasy. Feel the truth of love as it floods your heart, reclaims your essence, shows you how to dance free of time, and floods you with perception of the now, where life comes forth in wholeness once again, ever and always one. So let me say to you again, precious hearts, that if you feel this love anywhere, it has to be everywhere. If you can feel the love even in a flash of... Second, it means that love is everywhere, waiting for you to claim it. It means it is the truth of who you are, because we are one. We are glorious. We are this life being born in its fullness.
Echo 401, status check.
Echo 401.
Now feel this.
Confirming your entry office online then?
Joy rising as you realize the eternal life in its perfect expression as vibrant health and beauty, endless abundance. All of this is ever and always has been present, right behind the illusion of the mind. Dearest ones, these streams of love that are your hearts can easily erase the illusions of ego and time, and reveal to you the truth that you are free and the hologram of love is your true nature. One life unified and whole. One celebration of the birth of God's awareness. One unified presence of love as humanity. One glorious restoration of the truth. I am here with you as you embrace it now. Amen.
province only. All others to be advised. Theft over 5 and failed to comply. This is from January 2013. There's another 10CC3. There's 4 of them, and all of them for province only. Want me to send a CPIC?
To the
402-302, clear copy and alarm at the Independence on McKesney. That's 15 McKesney to the Independence. The compressor room has 1 hit. The customer exit sliding door 1 hit, and the front windows 1 hit. They did speak to a Jamie PEDO who did not have the password. No answer at premise.
Born and raised on a back road, speaker box and a cane pole. Saturday we were rebels, but we were angels in church. Beat up boots on the front porch, rusty roots in the back 40. Nothing's ever meant more to me than that dirt. Never give it up, never turn it down. Same back then as it is right now. No matter where I'm at, man, I know I got that uncut soul, that boondock swag in my stroll. Rock it wherever I roll. I got that old country, I got that old country soul. I wouldn't trade it for gold. Something right it on my soul. I got that old country soul.
I'm a blue ribbon on a PBR. Answer the call of the wild. Answer with a pen. Waterproof, insulated, all-day comfort.
no naps available. They are requesting OCT162021EMS. Am I going to give you details? 10-4, go ahead. 10-4, 59-year-old female, depressed, intoxicated at 36 Pine Street, hematology first station. Been gone, supposed one day, your mother was deceased. Possibly overdose on 3 bottles of pills. Diabetic and thyroid medication. She's currently sleeping, but is able to wake her up to make conscious. ETA for you is about 15 minutes. They're driving from Colorado. 10-4.
If you're over 40 and struggling to lose weight, it's incredibly important that you stop what you're doing and listen up.
Yeah, we about to get muddy on this one. Moonshine bandits in the lack. California to Georgia. Know about that. Know about
What did I do there? So, now it's your turn. What do you want to watch? For this? Do we go with the walking on car? Don't mind me. Should we go there? That's pretty far down the list now. That's a flip the page, actually. It's on this page. You still here? Hello? Do you want your turn? You're not here? Yeah, no, I'll take one.
Beloved Masters, during these times of accelerated transformation and chaotic change, two major distinctive groups have formed among the races, religions, and cultures of the world. These two factions are very distinguishable from our vantage point in the higher realms. Those who have faith in the future and are striving in every way possible to make a better world for themselves and others have auric fields gleaming with light, which extend outward in ever widening circles, thereby affecting everything and everyone around them. Many of you have become power transformers and sentinels for the influx of divine light that is seeking an anchoring source upon the earth. As we have said many times, the powerful, transforming, full-spectrum light is the sacred fire energy needed by the earth and humanity to successfully transition from the dense, broad-spectrum duality of the lower dimension into the lightness and expanded freedom of the higher fourth and fifth dimension. Miraculously for you, the faithful souls who have your eyes and hearts focused on a bright, new future, your visions and dreams are coming true more quickly than you could ever imagine. Your intuitive abilities are becoming stronger and more accurate, and you are swiftly becoming proficient at mind-to-mind communication with your guides and teachers in the higher realm. Your manifestation skills are improving, for you know that you must faithfully adhere to the universal laws of supply. First, you must have a concise, clear seed thought of what you desire to manifest, and this is accomplished by using the attributes of divine will, the first ray from God, the Father, and second, you must solicit the assistance of your higher self and angelic helpers by stating, I ask for this or something better for my greatest good, and for the most beneficial outcome for all. You must also add the emotional, heartfelt fuel to your seed thoughts. This activity draws upon the attributes of the second ray, love and wisdom from your Mother God. Third, you must take the action needed to bring your dreams to fruition. This is applying the dynamic attributes of the third ray, thereby taking advantage of all the qualities, attributes, and virtues of God consciousness of the third through seventh rays. Fear is the predominant emotion of the masses who are still stuck in a maelstrom of negativity within the mass conscious belief structure. Fear of the future, fear of scarcity, the government, corporations, other religious beliefs, different cultures and races, and even fear of God's wrath. There is dislike and fear for those who look, think, and act differently, and most of all, there is a fear of change. They fear, therefore, they criticize, judge, and lash out in anger and frustration, thereby creating an even greater, stronger thought form of negativity and fear around them. These poor, disillusioned souls are creating a stronger, ever-expanding vortex of negativity around themselves and their loved ones, thereby drawing to them those things they fear the most. They are caught in a web of self-fulfilling prophecy that reinforces their beliefs and keeps them shackled to their illusionary world of suffering, scarcity, and chaos. One day, they too will lift their eyes and hearts to the heavens, and they will answer the whispering of Spirit as they turn inward for the comfort and guidance of their soul self. However, as you are aware, a grand cosmic cycle is swiftly coming to a close, and the Earth is spiraling into a new position within the solar system, regardless of who is ready to ascend with it or not. And so, my beloved light bearers, this is where you come in. This is your grand opportunity to shine your light and share your vision. Yes, we hear and understand your protest. You think you're not good enough or wise enough to teach. It frightens some of you so much that you want to withdraw and no longer make an effort to expand your awareness and claim your mastery. This message is to assure you, beloveds, that you are already a teacher for those around you. You are teaching by example. You are teaching through your words and actions. You are teaching with every word you speak and every thought form you send out into the ethers. Your auric field affects the people around you in either a positive or negative way. Are you radiating love, faith, hope, and freedom? Perhaps you are not adding to the fear and negativity. However, let us assure you, you cannot remain at a status quo or in the inertia of non-action. Universal law demands that in order to maintain a constant influx of creator love light, it must flow into you and then radiate out from you after you have taken the portion you need. This is an immutable, infallible law. In past messages, we have explained to you how the avatars, ascended masters, the angelic kingdom, the great beings of light, along with swiftly expanding number of earthly initiates on the path, will be working together under the guidance of the Cosmic Council of Light to bring forth the advanced wisdom teachings for those unprecedented times of transformation and ascension. Make no mistake, all of you who are on the path are teachers, whether in a formal manner or just by example, and what is needed most of all is your radiance. Remember, you magnetize energy to you, and you radiate energy from your solar power center front and back. As your energetic signature becomes more refined and it is attuned to the higher frequencies of light, you will still draw forth a portion of the half-spectrum primal life force substance as long as you are still in a third, fourth dimensional environment. However, it will mix and meld with the higher frequency adamantium particles of light, and will be automatically transformed by your loving intention into higher frequency energy as you align your free will with the will of the Father, Mother, God. You are the ones who must be the receptacles and transformers of the divine light from the Supreme Creator, which is then filtered down to you from our Father, Mother, God. Just as our beloved universal parents reduce and filter the Creator light out into the galactic sun, it is then transduced down through the suns of your solar system. You are needed, beloveds, to filter the light through yourself. You must then activate it with your unconditional love and radiate it out into the world. The only way you can become pure receptacles of light is to become self-masters, and the only way you can do that is to become enlightened via the wisdom teachings you've been offered. This requires that you integrate these cosmic principles into your life so that you may become living examples of guiding lights. In order to become a living tributary for the river of life, you must prepare yourselves to allow the essence of life to flow into and through you. You must see what you need and then allow the remainder to flow forth, ready and available to be molded into wondrous new creation. In this way, you will become bearers and servers of the light. This is the ultimate message of all the teaching we have given you over these past years. This is the goal of self-mastery. This is the way of ascension. We offer these brief, concise thoughts so that you may more easily integrate them into your memory bank of higher consciousness. The repetition of paragraphs and specific concepts is intentional for that same reason. It will take time to train your mind to retain so many new teachings so that your subconscious mind can slowly be upgraded and refined. The enlightenment process begins when you shift your ego personality and outwardly focused left brain consciousness to incorporate your right brain, inward focused, intuitive consciousness, and you begin to listen to your soul self. New pathways in the brain are opened as you begin to unlock the light packets of wisdom and your history stored in the higher dimensional levels of your sacred mind. The old pathways and the painful memories of your third and fourth dimensional past begin to fade, and you will find that it becomes more and more difficult to remember the failures and suffering of past lives. Have we not told you that you are healing the past as you spiral into the future? You will remember who you are in your history, but only the positive, harmonious events. The moment of awakening is when the Kundalini fire ignites in the root chakra and moves up the spine through the chakra system, opening the seven seals of higher consciousness. The medulla oblongata, or the ascension chakra, which is sometimes called the mouth of God, is activated and the pineal gland begins to pulsate and function as it was originally designed to do. This in turn opens the crown chakra, or the lotus of enlightenment, at the top of your head, thereby connecting with the shining column of light, which ultimately leads to your God, seed, Adam, I am presence. Once you make this connection, you are forever changed. The empowerment of spirit begins to flow through you as you begin to reclaim your mastery of self along with the godly gifts of your divine heritage. You are returning to your natural state of being, and you are reclaiming your cosmic consciousness as you refine and prepare to be the new prototype, Adams and Eve, of the new golden galaxy of the future. You must seek to align with the many facets of your higher self and always strive for the greatest good. You are no longer just an individual focused on your own welfare as you move deeper into the oneness of spirit. As you move into a state of harmlessness, you also move into a state of grace, and this is when the magic begins. There will be a neurobiological restructuring of the brain, and you'll eventually achieve an irreversible state of cosmic consciousness. Be assured that enlightenment of a vast portion of the masses is possible in this lifetime, and each of you has an integral part to play in this grand drama. The age of the seventh ray and the violet flame is a pivotal point within the process of evolution, whereby the threefold flame of God consciousness dramatically accelerates its direct influence upon the earth and humanity. As it accelerates, it spins or spirals downward via the seventh ray, upward from the great ageless violet fires within the earth, and outward in frequency from within the heart center of you, then enlightened light bearers around the world. This divine elixir of cosmic fire is created by the merging into oneness of the blue flame of divine will of the Father with the pink flame of divine love of the Goddess, along with the radiant golden flame of divine wisdom. This spiraling action brings a blending of the pink and blue flames with the core of golden fire, thus creating the sacred violet flame. This creates a divine alchemy whereby all discordant or inharmonious energies can be transmuted or transformed into positive life force substance. It contains all the gifts and blessings of our Father, Mother, God, makes them available to you, their solar sons and daughters, or sons of light, which were born in their sacred union. Beloveds, in the future it would be normal to live within the auric field of a master, a distinguished being of light, or on rare occasions an archangel. You, the aspirants of the path, are building a bridge between the material world and the world of spirit. The light of the intellect and the light of reason bring wisdom and understanding, for they supply the mental nature with a fuel that enables you to comprehend and master the world of form. Before you incarnated, you agreed to light the path and show the way for those following behind. You must be diligent in your search for the truth, and you must have an intense desire and willingness to serve if you are to join the ranks of the masters. You are now in the process of adjusting to higher frequencies of electromagnetic light currents. The soul self encourages you to become consciously aware of the universal laws, so that you may take full advantage of your God-given creative abilities. Brave hearts, we enfold you within our auric field of protection, and we radiate to you the eternal love and gratitude of the Cosmic Council of Light. We are with you always. I am Archangel Michael. So be it. True spirituality means adhering to the living truth. It is not practiced just once or 2 hours a week as is done in most religious ceremonies. It is an incessant burning desire to be in constant communion with Spirit. Humanity must move past the shallow waters of orthodox worship into the mystical river of life. The Akashic records are vibrational patterns, positive or negative, which are stored within the cosmic library, which contains the total history of creation.
I've been there. That's where I got my scrolls. In the parallel universe, people think don't exist. You just can't see it. Okay, your turn. Do you want everything or just music? And God said, the blending of heaven and earth. Aiden Bissett, dumped. George Martin talking about the Beatles song yesterday, rest in peace. Learn how to an act of faith, Alan Watts. Tell it to the bottle, crucifix, outlaw. I am the last surviving persecutor of the Nuremberg trial. Light facilities, light up. Channel Trez. Lights up. Light facilities, lights up. When your bear had a hard day and needs some extra love. Aw. Hi, Tukini Ivor. Inner Worlds, Outer Worlds, Part 1, Ashaka. Dayspring of Youth teaser chapter. Yeah?
Chapter 6, The Eternal Lover. They who possess much elemental nature are often given visions, and as they easily enter the elemental realms, we have been privileged to record such inspirations by a pupil. This will give the student some idea about those realms from whence inspiration is derived. It is given in her own language. Natural beauty and music are the links that hold her to this plane. She is highly religious, but of a pagan nature, and this world seems to be one of toil and suffering. When taken into these higher spheres, she begins to grow younger and childlike and is happy and at peace with all things. Past records show her to have possessed an intemperate nature, and to have been a courtesan as well as a nun, but the elemental source of her being constantly beckons to her. Having suffered greatly in past incarnations, she lost touch with her elemental guardian, who possesses great enlightenment and power. I can trace her incarnation from her elemental spheres, her source of enlightenment, to this dark world. Though bearing her karma with rebellion, she is not divorced from these elementals who come and guide her thoughts. Certain beings of a hierarchical nature have also appealed to her, and their beauty and serenity are wonderful to behold. Her life has been a constant giving without, as she thinks, much return. As a child, she felt that this world was an illusion. She easily senses any dishonesty or hypocrisy in people who possess such, and has the elemental power of the sylph of placing a finger upon the weak spot of a person's character. I heard a voice that called to me, saying, "Come, my beloved, and follow me. I am he who lives in a land of perpetual fragrance, whose walls are of crystal." And the sound of the voice caused the tree of love to put forth her branches within me. The tree of love, whose flowers are light with music, and whose leaves are inscribed with gold. I sought my beloved for many days, but I found him not, neither did the echo of his voice come to me upon the wind, and I journeyed far into the valley of despair. Now, while I walked in this valley from the mountain on the farther side, there came a horseman, whose spear and shield shone, and he lifted me and carried me through the illusion of the world, where there was an altar garland, with the blossoms of sensation, and the corners of it were carved very curiously with the heads of rams. Behind it stood one crowned, and above his head was the nimbus of the moon.
An alarm call over the Independent. Customer exit sliding door on hit. Key order pending.
Stretched out his hands and anointed me and held towards me an ewer, out of which he drew necklaces of pearl and sapphire and emerald. As I tossed them up to the laughter of the sun,
Alright, report. The second one there tonight. The big team employee knows how to work the alarm system. We'll go check.
again the voice of my beloved bidding me to sit beside the stream of lost remembrance. Now the waters of the stream ran clear, yet when I put my hand in it drew out precious stones, and each stone had its own particular fragrance. And from the thickets and hedges there came fauns and elves, playfellows of a bygone age. And they decked me with the jewels, singing songs that were like the gentle spray of fountains, and they showed me the path my beloved had taken. Like a bird that was freed, happiness soared up within me. My mind became calm, and like a net that floats upon a moonlit sea, I drifted into sleep. In the distance of a dream, I saw my beloved standing beside the watchtower of my soul, and he cried to me, saying, "Prepare the way, for I come to you with a new body and a new mind, with a casket of precious ointment and a chalice from the moon. The pastures of your brain will be made fertile, and your feet will spread the net of expression to enable you to hold the imagination of our minds. No father has begotten me, no mother has suckled me, a symbol of time, and an advocate of justice, I stand serene in the resting place of silence. I am the crystal wall built about the garden of nature, on the ramparts of which are the storehouse of understanding. Out of my land come song and laughter and the rhythm of the dance. My messengers run before thought with the rush and fluttering of wings. Sowing and reaping, I have followed you through the fields of yesterday. In Arcadia, I permeated your mind with the dayspring of youth, for I am the eternal lover before whom others fade. Each holds for you but a facet of me, and so cannot satisfy your hunger or assuage your thirst. Babylon was known to me. Through the rites of Ishtar you have worshipped me. Asher heard the sound of my voice, but I remained hidden from them. Egypt unveiled my face. Greece cast her treasures at my feet and listened to my songs. Through the eyes of many lovers I have looked on you, drawing aside my veils by the magic of color and perfume and sound. The going down of the sun and the rising thereof have been but links in the chain that forged you to me. For I am he who comforted you in the pangs of birth and folded about you the sheltering wings of death, your eternal star. In answer to my beloved, a messenger came forth to the watchtower of my soul. He touched my forehead so that my mind was caught up in a higher heaven. Circular like a great courtyard, it was divided into 12 divisions in which each sign of the zodiac had its place, and from each sign wound spiral staircases that led to a balcony of crystal where the people of the sun walked with the daughters of the moon. In the center of the courtyard rose a fountain greater than one that enriched its walls, and the sound of it seemed the source of all music. And over it high, up till it merged with the innermost heaven, curved a rainbow that paled and quickened as the waters rose and fell. Then he who guided me bade me look into the dusky cities of the world, and I saw that the only light that came to the earth was the reflection from the crystal wall, and where the spray of the fountains chanced to fall and illumined the minds of color.
Additional information regarding this 911 hang-up, better address or return on that phone call. No, negative. We tried calling back, but apparently it wouldn't even ring. It was just buzzing. The only information we have is 332 Highway 129 registered to a Terry 1. 10-4, we had the same 911 call a couple months ago. I'll send clearing over at PS. No problem.
It colored the brushes of painters and made dreams stir in the hearts of men. And as I looked, the spirit of the fountain spoke to me, saying, "Whom do you seek?" And I, thinking it was the voice of him who I sought, held out my arms, crying, my beloved, upon those foreheads shines the eternal star." Swiftly the jagged icicle of torment entered my heart, for the voice answered, "Already he has journeyed far from here. Seek him in the world through the door of service." The fountain shimmered to silence, the rainbow stood still. I passed through the gateway into the outer courtyard that I saw dimly through my tears, leaning against a pillar, for all strength seemed to have left me. I waited, and out of the shadows moved a form, and I called to it, for I thought I recognized one whom I loved. But as it came towards me up the steps of the Logi, I saw it was no mortal, but the goddess Venus with one of her handmaidens. And I ran to her, delirious with delight. Under my hand I felt the roundness of her breast, and my whole body was filled with the wonder of her beauty. But when I touched her, she turned and looked at me with wounded eyes, and uttering a cry of pain, fled from me. Stooping, I picked up a spray of blossoms she had dropped in her flight. It seemed but lately picked from the tree of youth, for the bees of happiness followed after it, humming the song of spring. I returned to the world fettered with poverty, and fate led me into strange paths. I, who looked upon service as my right now, was called upon to serve. I heard the roar of the jungle called commerce, where the mind of the machine ruled supreme. I saw men whose souls had dwindled till they had become like shriveled leaves. I heard the hollow laughter of the rich, as with indifferent feet they trod the winepress of wealth, demanding more and yet more, and seldom seeking to give. Seeking happiness and pleasure, and finding the cask of emptiness. I moved among so many bowed with the stress and struggle of existence that they had almost forgotten that there existed such a thing as beauty. To them I gave a blossom from the branch that I carried, and where I plucked a flower, another budded in its place, and those who looked at and held these fragile petals felt hope revive within them, and loveliness made in the mind's garden of escape from this world. Yet I was lonely and sad. I caught no glimpse of him who I sought. He seemed distant as a rose that grows in some far land, perfuming only my dreams. One day as I walked along a street, a figure beckoned me, and I followed her through narrow passages and devious ways till we seemed deep under the earth, and in an alcove of the wall behind grated bars I saw something which vibrated. Looking closer, I recognized the stone of remembrance that like a shuttle travels back and forth through the space of time. Putting my hands through the bars, I held it, and it gave me the power to see into the past and to understand the reason of suffering. That night in a vision, I again saw the beloved. In one hand he held a casket, and the other a chalice. I took the casket and opened it, only to find in it 7 other caskets. And he said to me, "Open the 3rd casket." And when I had locked it, I saw within it an image of myself, embalmed in fine linen, and he said, "Open the 2nd casket." And I did so, finding another body similar to the first, but on the brow was a diadem of 7 pearls. He bade me to unlock the 5th casket. With fear I did so, and in it lay a decomposed body. And knowing that it came from the evil of my thoughts, I shrank from it in loathing, and the beloved poured over it the contents of the chalice that he held, transforming the malice of it into the wisdom of experience. Then a voice came from the 7th casket, and at my touch it sprang open. And in it was a sprig of amber and a mother of pearl cunningly joined together and entwined. And I lifted it out and planted it in the earth, watered with my tears. New life flowed up by the amber stem, yet its smell was rancid. But the entwining twig of mother of pearl gave of itself and nourished it. And as it did, so the amber faded to primrose and finally into the likeness of a pearl. The voice of the beloved cried, "Prepare the way, for I am he who returns to you." And stooping over me, he sealed my lips. Yet there was sin in my heart. Then looking at the casket, he... turned and said to me in anger, "Open the first." I did so, and it was my soul enkindled, and it gave to me its message. Then did the beloved with gentleness unseal my lips. Opening the fourth casket, he showed to me that it contained nothing. Yet as I wondered, there rose from a cloud of perfume fragrance of happiness I had given to others. And in the sixth casket was a ball of crystal. And looking in the crystal, I saw stretched out of heaven the great arm of a... God, and down this arm came chariots and horsemen, all the pageant of bygone days, and entering my mind, they revealed to me the lost beauty of each century. Unscathed by death, unmarred by time, love stood before me, and he passed his hands over the caskets, enveloping them in a rosy flame. And with my beloved and him, I passed into the glory of the sunrise. But the time for fulfillment was not yet come. I was left alone in the land of solitude, where stillness hovered with the outstretched wings of some menacing bird, and from under the earth came a muffled sound like the repeated note of a tolling bell. I wandered through the desolate coldness of the valley, seeking some way of escape, but the mountains bound me in every... In my hopelessness I prayed, and as I did so, I saw far away in the distance many men pulling at a rope that seemed immeasurable, stretching into the very beginning of time. Guided by a light, I found my way, and when I came to the place, I saw that the men were careworn and fatigued, yet buoyant with an inward strength, and on each of their foreheads shone a lambent flame. Then I knew that they were the chain of initiates who bear the burden of the world, and I asked their blessings.
Once by GSPS and twice by Optimus Images for the same reason. For GSPS, it says great reason, administrative, 4 in the morning. Do you want his returns, or is you familiar with them? He's 1063 from GSPS in the area on a bench warrant, FDA court. You've got a couple here. He's also got one from Vancouver. I'm just trying to see if there's anything with regards to 1072 Drive, which there is not. There is a 1070 probation. Besides that, just those two 1063, it's valid 1027 class golf, no restrictions. On the warrant
and one of them bathing places.
We might make it 400 kilometers. Okay, for it. Do you want me to send him a message? Yeah, wait, show you. Come on.
My hand over his as it clasped the rope. Like an electric current, there vibrated through me the cruelty of man and the sorrow and suffering of humanity. It crashed through my senses like lightning till a merciful darkness overtook me. When conscience returned, I found myself on a pinnacle of a mountain, and before me stretched a path leading to an open country. I there looking into the sky, and as I looked, the clouds opened, and out of heaven came two hands bearing a chalice. Pouring a crystalline substance over me, I stood upright, and before me rose a tree. The tree of love, whose flowers are filled with music, and whose leaves shine with gold. And about it throng the sylphs of the air, the fauns and dryads of the woods, and the little people of the fields. Around my neck they placed an amaranthian garland, and the children of the moonbeam clothed me in shimmering garments and placed a crown of stars above my head. Through the groves of Arcadia they led me to an altar, answering the voice of my beloved with their singing, and as the morning mist is caught up and interpenetrated by the sun, I was made one with beauty, a conquistador of love.
Huh, that's a book, eh? Well, let's go check what number 7 said. Right?
A Course in Miracles.
Last time when we did the Gnostic text, remember we started like 4, 5, 6, and we ended up going 3, 2, 1? This one starts at chapter 6. Oh, let's see. Oh, the clock is... All in all, it's 7 hours. But it doesn't break it down. Weird. Just that one. It's the teaser, right? Oh wait, what's this one? Station of view. No. Well, we could go do a bit of it, and every now and again go back to it.
Want to know the best way to potentially make a big income online? By making lots of...
Introduction. This work is a record of instruction received during different states of yoga practice. That sealed book opened by the aspiring student during his development into his own inner states of being. We have been permitted to reveal this in order that others, by similar practice, may develop and unfold their inner powers, for the body is the storehouse of past, present, and strange, though it seems, future records. At the beginning of each end of an age, there is a pouring forth of hierarchical cosmic streams of energy, and as they are intermittently enter the Earth's atmosphere and unite, we find in this radiation that instruction is best fitted for the time. Thus, there is brought to birth a new period of discovery for the world. This new force, called by the initiates the Dayspring of Youth, has been in activity for some time, and they who respond to it and practice this Western yoga can enter the new era and become its instrument. This force, now working over Western Europe and America, possesses a new vitality and energy that will bring about a severance from past and inherited conditions. Minds that respond to it are clarified, and any opposition within the atmosphere of the mental body can no longer imprison them within its rebellious aura. For practice of this yoga attracts an atomic energy of a finer nature and transmutes to consciousness. The great initiates call this the churning of the butter, the separation of the finer elements in man from the coarser. If the student responds to these finer forces, he becomes aware of his manifestation within his physical body and mental atmosphere. For over 50 years, students have been sidetracked regarding the true meaning of yoga, for in nearly every book dealing with this subject, they have been told to concentrate inwardly. This is false, as such concentration attracts atoms of personality and desire. Neither should the word I be used, for this again brings the personal element into play. It is impossible to pass inwardly by direct concentration unless one also aspires. Only through personal contact with a master has a student been taught the true method. Man is a prisoner within the atmosphere of this world, but his higher self awaits a time when he will release himself from bondage and return to it. This union can be accomplished in one life if the student will but aspire and bring into activity those dormant properties of matter within him of which he has been unaware. Aspiration means longing for the reality's presence within one's own universe. Real aspiration should be impersonal, for personality attracts atomic intelligence of a personal nature, besides parasitical and discarded entities. Within and about us are highly developed atoms, and in our breathing exercise we attract them into our bodies. They then supply our nervous system with their energies, and as man is the result of his own type of atoms and atmosphere, he is judged by the quality of atoms he attracts, just as he is judged by the kind of people with whom he associates. Man is a solar system in miniature, governed by his innermost that dwells within its sanctuary, and seldom manifests beyond its temple. If we are to gain its recognition of our efforts to reach its presence, we must aspire to this inner seat of government. The objective body is not related to its innermost until it can find a means of communication, and by attracting atoms possessing the nature of its innermost, we build a bridge between our inner and outer worlds. In this manner, we regain our lost possessions in nature, our true birthright. Chapter 1. Atoms. The purpose of the science of union, or yoga as it is called in the East, is to acquaint man with his innermost, and this work is but an introduction. The deeper knowledge is only given to the students when he is ready for it. They who teach yoga to the unprepared suffer severe pain. The fragmentary teachings the great initiates have left us have frequently been appropriated and altered by certain religious bodies who were supposed to have kept them sacred from the time they were given forth. They changed them in order to strengthen their own personal beliefs, and these false transcriptions have plunged the world into darkness. Occultism teaches us that the visible universe is but the lower counterpart of the higher one, which, if perceived, would give us youth and happiness. All that we see about us is illusory, and but a fragment of something greater, for our minds are imprisoned and held subject to our own illusion here. When we can pierce this, we shall perceive in the depth of nature a mind that directs and guides all things. Many occult schools, especially American, teach us how to develop our inner powers by the improper use of what is known as conscious willpower. These schools say that one's objective self can demand and receive things by impressing the subconscious self through willpower. In the deeper states of yoga, the student directs then, but does not will them as this world understands the term, but uses the consciousness of the reality within him. Thus, in the higher schools, the word will is seldom used. We do not wish to disturb anyone's faith, but we suggest that would man only learn to think inwardly and seek his own kingdom of heaven, he would read therein the original books of the great world teachers that have not been altered, for our own books and wisdom are not distorted by the illusional world. As the prophet Mohammed has said, "To its own book shall every nation be summoned," meaning that in the future man will learn to distinguish the true from the false when he attains union with his innermost. This book also deals with the health of the body and self-analysis, and the student can begin these practices no matter how old he is. The body is a composite form built from many sources and periods of past and present experiences. In our practices, these are reviewed. The lower centers represent the lower periods of our animal nature and are situated in the lower part of the spine. The centers above the navel represent the more developed states of evolution and competence. In the past, we ascended the lower densities of matter into the higher, but as we did so, we present vitality. Within such masterpieces, we place living atoms that still impress us with reverence and devotion. For they place within their work their own atoms, and no centuries have passed, the sensitive mind can still feel the artist's glorious creation. Lost our ancient inheritance, but within the living temple of the innermost we can regain possession of this godlike science. In the new age, there will come a moment when the sincere student, who has attained his inner authorization inheritance.
Oh.
But within the living temple of the innermost, we can regain possession of this godlike science. In the new age, there will come a moment when the sincere student, who has attained his inner instruction, will accomplish all that has been written upon his illumined mind-body. The dayspring of youth has touched the world in other periods. Where did Greece, whose splendor has never been eclipsed, derive her wonderful information? From whose school did her architects receive their wisdom knowledge of architecture and the laws of balance, rhythm, and proportion? Who taught Phidias, Praxiteles, and PEDO their knowledge of form, color, and the spirit that permeated their work? Even today, the illumined mind feels the vibration that Praxiteles' torso sends forth, and few living sculptors can impregnate marble with such pregnant vitality. Within such masterpieces were placed living atoms that still impress us with reverence and devotion, for they placed within their work their own atoms, and though centuries have passed, the sensitive mind can still feel the artist's joy in his creation. Yet much of this rich and manifold creation of Greece arose within the age of 250 years. In the Atlantean Testament of Learning, a book preserved by the brothers, we read the following concerning the origin of the Attic civilization. When the great initiate and his followers of the sun came to the Mediterranean, they halted for a time at the site upon which Athens was later built, and the Atlanteans planted in the subsoil atoms that long afterwards stimulated the minds of those who came to dwell there. He then departed with his followers to the fertile valley of the Nile to build up the civilization now called the Egyptian. The developed student will find such records intensely interesting. In the chapter house of the brothers, one can turn over the page of the past written by the historians of the order. Few people analyze the atmosphere of this world, neither do they realize their place and part in its activity. They who do so are generally the prophets of a nation and draw upon and express its accumulated store of wisdom. It is this wisdom that unites a nation to its inheritance. Western Yoga will help us through many difficult processes and give us the wisdom that will enable us to fulfill our mission to this world, as well as attain to our individual and inner universe. The secret of this form of yoga lies in the breathing in of atoms of a developed nature, for their higher rate of vibration develops our atomic structure. And this is done by inhaling into the nasal passage a certain type of atom called the aspiring atoms. In certain past periods of the world, we could unite ourselves to our inner centers, and today, through constant aspiration and purity of thought, we hope to reach the summit of this attainment, and also gather the knowledge the developed atoms possess and bind ourselves to those who reflect our highest aspirations. Only by aspiring for purity can beauty be received. This will also bring us clarity of mind and an instant sense of rest, no matter how tired we may have been. Through yoga, the student will receive, beside enlightenment, growth to his spiritual nature, and an interior understanding of the scientific world of today. Though the innermost may seldom interest itself in outer things, we should always do so, and strive to conform to the laws of this world. Old environments sap the atmosphere of young life. Such conditions are frequently found in old countries, as well as in old cathedral and university towns. For we cannot awaken and train those who still do not sever themselves from their old appetites and passions for the culture of the past age. When the student begins to inhale this atomic energy of the new age, it will give him some idea as to his future development. For the old atmosphere of this world has all the dust and filth of many ages, and therefore drags us back to the past. Thus, the nation will decay if it fails to respond to its own manifestation of the dayspring of youth. In the past, we ascended the lower densities of matter into the higher, but as we did so, we lost contact, being misled by our lower nature. Therefore, we must not surrender to lower conditions. If we do so, they will enslave us. Men are different in their structure. Some possess dense bodies as well as dense mind, and do not respond to any inflow of energy, but drift along in a causal manner. These people are the slaves to other minds and impart such qualities to those below them. In this practice of yoga, we no longer become the prey to other minds, nor revert to old standards of thinking when analyzing the qualities of thought coming from the inner planes. As energy can only be attracted by energy, think of the new energy in the atmosphere when aspiring, for these things can only be taken by force. When desires for certain knowledge aspire and call upon the innermost to connect you to that center of the vision corresponding to that source of information, in the deeper states of this practice, we seek the essence of our past experience after reviewing our past incarnations, whether good or evil. When we have made the sum total of our experience into a wisdom intelligence, we will then feel, if we are observant when practicing, the attributes of courage and stimulation. This means that through aspiration, we have inhaled those atoms possessing the consciousness belonging to the world of the innermost. We only become aware of our own atomic workers, who labor unceasingly upon the growth of our nervous system when entering our interior planes. When we realize this was, we should give them love and encouragement. If we wish to govern ourselves and analyze our conditions, we must pass the barriers separating us from our own sovereignty and this illusion world. For we cannot expect the innermost to promote the growth of our minds until we seek unity with it. Each section of the body belongs to its individual atomic vibration, and we must analyze them in our practice as they collect within the nasal passage. We then call upon these atoms that instruct us, and they will assist us by giving us the quality of balance. As we inhale, the door seems to slowly open within us, and we feel drawn into another sphere. In time, this breathing will be controlled by the innermost. When this occurs, we shall then know for the first time the meaning of rhythmic breathing, and sense that other being within us who takes charge, and gives us an alertness and perception never felt before. This is the borderland of our individual universe. Within our nervous system lies a second set of nerves that respond to a greater wavelength. When we aspire, we pass from the first into the second, and there collect atoms of different nature. We also awaken currents of dynamic power that open to the secluded centers and prepare us for admission into our real world of being, where atomic substance gives us energy and intelligence. In this study, we must take each step with a feeling of security and courage. The illumination that comes to us comes through observation and study of our inner possessions. We are not blind like the mystic who, though radiating great love, has little to demonstrate. For the mystic and the yogi of this science are far apart. The mystic with fasting and praying weakens his body, seeking to make it subservient to his higher side, of whom he is ignorant, and only its fragrance and peace remains in his heart. But the yogi will develop and learn transatomic intelligence and own great truth. In the science of this Western yoga, there are preparatory, silent, active, and scholastic periods. These four teach us how our inner and outer bodies operate. The presence of our innermost has to be brought into manifestation on our objective world. Here, we will add an important note about our innermost. Elsewhere, we say that it is held prisoner. But this does not mean that it has no freedom of movement. On the contrary, it manifests through our central system, our secondary system, an objective body, but it cannot manifest beyond these until it is ultimately released through yoga practice. We do not consciously respond to the impression of the innermost, though religious teachers say we are in constant union with the reality of God, until the innermost, the instrument of reality, unites us to it. In our present condition and atmosphere, direct communication with our innermost does not operate until we build into our system its divisions of atomic structures. Yoga teaches us that only through the construction of such vehicles can we receive a response. We do not realize that when we reject these aspiring atoms, we likewise reject our own strength and serenity, or that in our practice we begin to fertilize our bodies another type of atom that evokes our hidden forces, just as the gardener uses richer soil to nourish his plants. A devout person often thinks he receives answers to his prayer from his deeper consciousness, for his heart is suddenly aflame, and it convinces him that he has found God. Yet this is but the response of the atomic center within his heart that is registered as appeal and aspiration. He believes this to be an illumination of God, whereas it is but the opening of the center that is attracted to aspiring atoms that pour into his system and illuminate his consciousness, and pronounce their blessing upon one who has sought their atmosphere. To many, this is called divine revelation. When centers in our secondary system are open, they also give us similar illuminations and periods of serenity and peace, not the peace of mind as we think, but determined energy personified by our own individualities. That composite body that calls it the world. That we are always observed by the reality and existence, the innermost, we are cast out of our own real kingdom, until through aspiration we bring into our physical envelope those atoms that respond to the innermost in the reality. How can we know and receive the vibrations of the higher plane without an instrument upon which their vibrations can play and enter its consciousness? Man fails to endow himself with his own higher intelligence and is unaware of the reverence for his innermost. Thus, the reader can now realize that this system of Western Yoga is to harmonize us to our finer states of being, wherein dwells the presence of the innermost. Chapter 2, The Nous Atom. There are many petals to a rose, but few breathe the perfume of its heart. Therefore, seek the innermost so that its fragrance may sweeten and heal the mind. In the left ventricle of the heart rests the principal atom. That minute model the physical body must eventually conform to in its progress. This is a spinning body living within its own atmosphere and is called the Master Builder, for it has charge over all the constructive principles of our physical body. Like a general in command, it has armies of atomic builders and engineers that carry out its directions. These are the aspiring atoms who seek the innermost as we do. This Master Builder has its staff of overseers who often sacrifice their own attainment for those beneath them in development. Our first practice is to attract the notice of this Master Builder, or Nous Atom, by the use of these aspiring atoms that attune us to their intelligence. The physical organism is like a foreign country to these willing atoms whose task is to attune it to its greater spiritual possibilities. The Master Builder rests in the purest blood of the heart in absolute authority over the atoms that obey it. This bloodstream can exert pressure on those workers and thus stimulate them to greater activity. Increased pressure demands greater endurance from them, as the body must be repaired regardless of the laborer's desires. These myriad workers, whom we neither heed nor help, are often discouraged and seemingly helpless through our excesses and stimulants in labor. The student can encourage them every morning by this exercise. Take a deep breath, stand upon the soles of the feet, pat the tip of the liver, the Robin Goodfellow of the yogi, and send love and encouragement while doing so. The nerve center at this spot is vitalized by our thoughts and love, for there lies the seat of the imagination, and a healthy imagination makes a healthy body. These atoms respect an honest mind, for dishonesty in our dealings inflicts disorder in their atmosphere, and they avoid as if possible. Thus, only pure aspiration can contact us to their consciousness. They also bring the influence of the innermost to our illusioned minds imprisoned in the mirage of the world. Between man and nature lies a vast void over which few have passed. Many Chinese artists have shown us that these great conceptions dealing with the elemental realities that unite the mind to this conscious of nature. It was the Nous Atom, or Master Builder, that responded to the call of reality when asked to serve and incarnate into the lower stratas of the world before the coming of the sun to the mind. The physical body only appears solid. When viewed from within, it looks like a gaseous envelope, and is a protective screen for the innermost, preventing the invasion of foreign, germ-like substances. The penetration of our own thoughts can inflict great suffering upon these atomic, faithful workers within us if these thoughts are intense with hatred, malice, or envy, for these qualities are far more destructive than we realize. Our education teaches us to think outwardly. This prevents our minds from thinking inwardly. What we believe to be our own thoughts do not arise from our innermost and are therefore not of our own individual truth. The Nous Atom will never demand anything that is evil from us. On the contrary, it will suggest only those things that will be helpful for our inner development. Its work is to liberate us from our bondage in this illusion world. And as we are the architecture of our own fate, it is for us to decide. As the student develops, he contacts those periods when man was enveloped in an atmosphere full of divine wisdom, and he again recalls the plan he had determined to accomplish in his world, incarnating, a plan forgotten as he descended into the dense matter of this world. In those ancient days, we knew we were composed of atoms possessing different qualities, and we were still encircled by a powerful protective shield into whose consciousness we must again enter. When we receive illumination during our practice, we help our atoms by giving them the same aspiration and aid that we receive. Only when immersed within our own interior planes do we realize the pain and misery we cause the workers of the Nous atom. For we re-experience their suffering, and we determine that in the future we'll keep a healthy and normal mind in a clean and healthy body. When the master builder or Nous atom leaves the body disintegrates. The Nous atom desires to establish laws that will cause the nations of the world to be as one. Man today is only 4/7 developed, but when the Nous atom and its workers respond to our practice, we are taught to stimulate several divisions of the body, seeming atrophy through disease. The body is composed of two types of atoms, good and evil. Through them, we re-experience the good and evil of our past lives. Atoms resemble their owners, and those whose atoms are firm and solid have strong bodies. Those with weak atoms have weak bodies. When we enter our intermediate states, we develop our hidden sense of perception and become aware of discarnate intelligence, and we must be careful not to confuse our intuitions with their communication. In order to know the difference between the true voice and the false, we should feel a vibration that brings us a sense of victory and stillness, like the end of a great pronouncement. Our inclinations to be alert and healthy will give us a steady reverence of the aspiring atoms. Therefore, we should not eat impure foods and be moderate in our stimulants. Increased blood pressure accounts for abnormal appetites and desires and stimulates our lower nature to greater activity and opposes our entry to our inner world. This pressure destroys the nerves that cause the cells of the brain to open and shut. As we breathe, these nerves open the cells to the energy passing through the body, and if they are shut through abnormal pressure from sudden exertion, this increases the lower centers to a greater alertness and activity and shuts off the inner world from the student and prevents them from receiving their instruction. We must therefore use a method whereby we can shut off the influence of our lower nature. In the heart, there is a small valve that opens and shuts off interruptions from the lower seats of consciousness. Later, we slowly realize that the innermost use a system of irrigation canals through which flow the beautiful substance that will fertilize our growth and understanding of our own possessions. We not only breathe with our lungs, but every brain cell is furnished with what we analyze as lung passages that collect atoms to impress us with their intelligence. Aspiring atoms are often immersed in substances that destroy their communication with the Nous atom, and it is the indolent atoms that bring this to pass. Our minds are collectors of decayed atmospheres of the past, filled with the foulness that generates the taste for war and other great vices. In our practices, these decayed conditions will give way to a solar force that will burn them up. This fire will destroy these parasites that have inflicted their burdens upon us and cleanse us for our true minds to manifest. Throughout history, world saviors appeared at the end or beginning of an age, and when we can read our own inner books of remembrance, we shall then know what illumination each teacher brought to us into the world. Also that they could work miracles through the magical manipulation of vowel sounds, and that work had been to attune man to the higher vibrations released by these atoms. In every life we have had the same Nous atom, and in some lives obeyed its direction. The world thinks that when a man becomes a yogi and goes into retreat, he wastes his life. It is true that it may be known to but a few, yet the genuine yogi has his place in the development of humanity, and his power increases as he withdraws from the atmosphere of the world that holds humanity prisoner. He possesses great power and manipulates the thought waves of mankind as a musician manipulates his keyboard. As the student passes through the astral mental planes in his journey inward, many of the subnormal beings that crowd these regions, some earthbound, often listen in to his thoughts and strive to disturb and distort his mind. The aspiring atom aids us in bringing the birth to the latent energy within us, that sleeping force near our navel center that liberates us from bondage. This force, similar to static electricity, is evoked, directed up the spinal tract, and opens up our great hidden centers or schools. For in the central nervous system is the sun intelligence of our miniature universe, where man can gain oneness with reality. We then come under the direction of a most powerful stream of intelligence that helps us to pass out of our bodies and gain information without resorting to normal methods. If we are observant, we can scan the horizon of all endeavor and accustom ourselves to dwell inwardly, regardless of the world's knowledge, and partake of that inner nourishment we outwardly rejected. In our central system, we find certain atoms that represent the consciousness of a great leader of humanity. These atoms form an atomic structure, from whence one will now and again descend into the dense atmospheres of our body and contact us to those atomic intelligences that have followed their teachings. they will also flash before us the moving screen of our past experiences. And again, there will come over the student what he had previously suffered, feelings of having been conquered and of having conquered. He will aim, after having witnessed his good and evil deeds, to so live that there will no longer dwell within him those atoms that have rebelled against their Lord. No great administrator has ever used the standards of his age. Instead, he has created ideals and used his imagination in order to bring about progressive changes in his civilization. Nations have had periods of enlightenment when the moral worth of the individual was considered a national asset. The Greeks understood this ideal. The organs of generation are of great importance in these teachings, for their creative power is not for sex alone, but also for the creation of ideal standards through the use of imagination. The powerful energy that enters us has several strands, and each one vibrates a different division of the nervous system. When seen inwardly, these centers radiate different light waves like coals glowing in a dark night. The energy of our central system keeps us awake, but when we sleep and also rest, another form of energy takes its place. This is similar to an engineer overhauling the machinery after the workmen have left, for this energy repairs broken down tissues and destroys all that is of unhealthy nature. When we awake, it ceases functioning, and the previous atomic forces resume their task. The governing intelligence of each atomic colony resist with all their power any outside influence that attempts to change their attitude towards one another. It is necessary to be always alert for any message coming from the nous atom, and there is an old Hermetic saying, "Be alert for your master's voice, as he is alert for yours." When we can respond to the innermost, we can remedy past ills, live deeper and nobler lives, and become initiated into lesser mysteries. Chapter 3, Destructive Atoms. As we have said in the previous chapter, there are two forces within man, good and evil. The nous atom is sometimes called by the occultist the white or good principle of the heart. We will now speak of its opposite, the dark atom or secret enemy. In many ways, it activates or similar to the nous atom, for it has legions of atomic entities under its command, but they are destructive and not constructive. The secret enemy resides in the lower section of the spine, and its atoms oppose the student's attempt to unite himself to his innermost. The secret enemy has so much power in the atmosphere of this world that they can limit our thoughts and imprison our minds. When we strive to hold the mind to one thing, it will immediately attempt to disintegrate it. As a teacher once told me, if you could hold a pristine thought for but 3 seconds, you could become a master of the world. These atoms evoke all that is evil within us, and in the history of the world, it has its periods of power, when it becomes greatly destructive, and the last war was such a period. As its powers predominate in this world, it is easier for us to contact its school in our yoga practices, for from childhood we have been taught to think outwardly and not inwardly, and it is in the outer body that these atoms manifest more easily. Thus the kingdom of hell are easily entered, but the kingdom of heaven can only be entered by force. Here we think a note upon faith should be of interest. Initiates say that its meaning has been misunderstood. Faith, as the world uses it, possesses no spiritual nature, though in the secondary system it means power and energy applied to action. All success in yoga comes from this application, for the true quality of faith is a solar force that illumines the mind and attracts to it atoms of power and energy. More human arrest has resulted from the misconception of this quality than man realizes. When Jesus used this word in the sentence, "If ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed," he meant that one could work miracles if one possessed the atomic energy contained within a mustard seed. But in this world of illusion, this is reversed, and the weak man sits still and believes that all will come to him if he has faith. It is not a force that should only be applied to religious belief. It is the power of the innermost working through the densities of our body, and the more we respond to it, the greater will be our powers. Incidentally, the student should know that when he enters his secondary system, there is a reversal of things. For instance, here we say, "the man runs," but in this inner division, the sentence would read, "runs the man." The secret enemy has never been allowed to enter the higher spheres of our being. In the beginning, when the world was in a fiery state, they refused the call of the Absolute and rebelled against their Lord. Afterward, they followed the streams of the white atoms and incarnated. Their next opportunity of responding to the call will come at the creation of a new universe. When the student re-experiences these past lives when he is dominated by evil, he also re-experiences the following lives when he repays such evil through much suffering. And it may help those who suffer much poverty and pain today to know that they are paying the penalty of previous actions, for the innermost within them is their judge. When the student can balance his two types of atoms, the white and the black, their powers come under his control, and he can then enter his higher schools. In Eastern terminology, this means he who has attained the middle of his path. He is now under the jurisdiction of neither good nor evil. As we enter the darker spheres of our nature, we meet earthbound intelligences who would attach themselves to us were we to permit them. Later, we have to face the composite body of our past evil, a thought form of our own creation, and to whom we have given elements of a soul nature, for unknowingly we are all creators. This, called the dweller of the threshold, will confront us, and is a living dynamic force. Being elemental, it can assume any shape of horror with which it wishes to impress us, and usually takes a feminine form. If we permit this evil to gain control over us but for a moment, for it is hypnotic, it will give the nervous system, especially to those uninitiated as to its true nature, a dangerous shock. But if at such a moment we aspire to the reality for protection and understanding, it will disintegrate like the ash of a cigarette. When this is destroyed, it will remove the subconscious impression of fear that children as well as men suffer from in their dreams. In some Greek mysteries, this dweller is evoked and the neophyte is freed from it. There's also its opposite that we must meet on a higher plane. The composite body of our past good and ideals. This is a godlike intelligence, terrible in its appearance of brightness and splendor. It is called the advocate, and we will speak about this in later chapters. We also re-experience in our lower schools our evolution through the animal states, and we discover how they still strongly influence and control man. As this world is closely related to the secret enemy, it is far easier for the student to gain a knowledge of the evil side of nature instead of the good. For operative magic deals more easily with the density of matter than with the finer forces of nature. The wisdom of the secret enemy is seemingly far greater than the wisdom of the nous atom. As a great prophet once said, the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Our atmosphere is moist, and when we attract an evil thought to it, this evil thought will surround us with atoms of similar nature that will rotate about us like a swarm of bees. On the outer lining of the mental body are nodes of consciousness that attract certain types of good and evil thoughts. Such atoms differ in degrees of intelligence, and some can give us a false conception of things as well as of people. Students must adapt themselves to their environment and learn to govern their thoughts. By so doing, they can increase their energy and feel a greater security and power from the atmosphere of the nous atom. Remember that the environments differ and evil places teem with destructive atoms. The innermost judges by the atmosphere we attract. The sun sends a great cleansing power into the atmosphere. You will notice this in spring when new life and vitality is sensed everywhere, for the atoms of the sun stimulate the central nervous system. It is interesting to note that people infiltrated by atoms of the secret enemy cannot bear sunlight in the morning when the sun is most vital. Those people who are dominated by their ancestors' living rooms, magnetized by their thoughts, also generally prefer seclusion. But in the future, people will no longer live in the begrimed and congested areas of the city where ancestral atoms of a decayed nature float, for the vibrations of the dayspring of youth will separate youth from such hereditary conditions. People who build with old material should remember that new wine should not be poured in old bottles. Our bodies must build with the new energy and be made healthy in conditions clarified. Each person has an individual atmosphere and an individual intelligence. When we respond to the new energy and clothe ourselves with our own individuality, we will have no affinity to other mental atmospheres. This separation will cause students difficulty at first in understanding people, for once on the path we become different in thought as well as in ideals. We are again, like little children, entering another world surrounded by those pure atoms that came and remained with us in the first years of our birth. And like children, we neither resist nor attract atoms of the secret enemy. In this way, we are protected from evil. Incidentally, it should be known that the opposition to good is the real cause of unhappiness. The worst type of atom that confronts us today comes over from the remote Lemurian period, in this long past age, before this planet had reached a higher level of evolution. Our bodies were of an animal nature divorced from its godlike might and immersed in an atmosphere not unlike the atmosphere today. We were constantly engaged in war, sacrificed our victims to our gods of destruction, and ate their flesh. Our recreations consisted of opposing animals against one another and eating them afterwards. As blood is instantly transformed in the heat of battle into the evil qualities of the combatants, this helped the secret enemy to populate thickly the bodies with its destructive atoms and thus gain greater power over the physical bodies. It was in this Lemurian period that we first broke bread. The more highly developed creatures harvested a grain similar to millet, and this disturbed the animal atoms within them, and created a desire to oppose those who followed war and ate the remains, and also to unite into a colony and brotherhood for the purpose of self-protection. Those who escaped from torture and death also joined them. We were higher than the animals, for we could remember and repeat what we had heard from the elders of this colony. We could easily leave their bodies and had discovered how to receive instruction from another sphere, an overseer globe. At times there also came beings of semi-divine nature whose vibrations interpenetrated and stimulated our beings. These solar beings taught them an alphabet similar to that of the early Chinese, also a lost art known only to initiates that dealt with the vowel sounds of nature. When these were sounded correctly, they would evoke an audible response, and by the sound the true name of a thing would be known. Our old Lemurian atoms are our most destructive enemies, as they still possess the inheritance of their ancient wisdom, and the black magicians received instructions from them. In the ritual of the brothers we read, "Be masters of black magicians by mastery over their masters of magic." Artists often succumb to the secret enemy and saturate their work with an evil beauty that contacts the beholder with destructive atmosphere. What thought creates is penetrated by an atomic atmosphere, and beauty is often defiled by the thoughts cast upon it. In the lower spheres, objects of great beauty can be seen, so lovely that we become almost entranced. Yet they would evoke all our evil nature if we permitted them to imprison our minds. In this world, a secret enemy transforms what has been created through great purity of mind into the opposite by the criticism of those darker minds controlled by the secret enemy. The criticism of Keats' poems is such an example. Youthful genius is easily hurt and sometimes destroyed when the dark powers write through the pen of a critic. Every man's past sleeps in the atmosphere of his constructive and destructive atoms, and according to his thoughts he awakens them and can inflict them upon others. He does not realize he can destroy the healthy radiation of others by the influence of his diseased atoms, for he is not always happy or normal when he evokes his past conditions. Sometimes healthy and positive bodies attract protective types of atoms in order to shield them when in the presence of unhealthy forces. People controlled by the powers of the secret enemy discharge those foul qualities into the atmosphere, and sensitive people are not immune from this if they have not positive minds and the gift of sound bodies. Depression and anger are the two doors through which the influence of the secret enemy enter, and when this occurs, disease germs invade the body. Anxiety and poor food will also destroy our aspiring atoms. Our salvation, therefore, rests upon the possession of a happy and mentally balanced atmosphere, for our happiness is their happiness, and our miseries theirs also. Instinct, that power we once possessed when evolving through the protean and animal elements, and which the animal calls upon for direction in moments of danger, still lies within us, and this will awaken again in the middle period of a new age. This power protects and warns us of evil minds, and they who use it will have nothing to fear from the secret enemy, since instinct comes from the innermost, and the opposition cannot work against it. If we concentrate intensely upon the secret enemy, we aid it and develop its power within our atmosphere. Within the lowest spheres of our nature, the secret enemy has its schools, and in our practices we are often confronted by one of its servants, who promise to grant us any material wish, if we be willing to associate with the powers and principalities of its master. Though should we do so, we must be prepared to give our souls into its possession. This is a student's great trial, for the white atoms do not promise us anything of an earthly nature, save a wealth of wisdom and a sense of inner security. Before the Great War, these minds, responsive to its evil influences, shadowed forth its ideal that might is right, and sowed these seeds of destructive that unlocked the secret enemy within man. The workers of the Nous atom rebel at any prospect of war or destruction, physically or mentally, and will protect those who surrender themselves to their atmosphere. Atoms of a demoniacal nature are appearing in the upper levels of society, and no nation can secure peace and comfort when their leaders are under such domination. Everyone has a caste mark written upon the forehead, and the initiated can distinguish the character of each man in this manner. Man has several observation posts in his body, and he can see from them into the areas of the world wherein the darker forces are at work. The lordship of a nation passes away when in the field the scythes are made to serve the purpose of the few, and the harvest is distributed to profit but a small section of people. The harvest is abundant and can feed all the world, but the atoms of destruction corner the markets and many starve. Humanity is like a feather on a stream, drifting without any real purpose in life beyond that of effacing these disagreeable things that would disturb its pleasure. When, in his practice, the student enters and peers into the present from a future time, he will see how much agony man could have prevented in the unfertilized fields of the world. Today, man must learn to think and become his own savior, and not to be led by a few minds selected by the secret enemy, whom we elect to office of state in the hope that they will gratify our pleasure without any thought of future consequence. The secret enemy works in every way to deny us any intelligence that would illuminate our minds, and would seek to stamp man in a machine cursed with similarity and a mind lacking all creative power. The machine-made man's mentality is only molded to serve the machine, and the future progress of a race is restricted, for that which is not impregnated with the activity of thought belongs to the world of dead atoms. The machine may make a man useful to others and give him a clean method of living, but it impoverishes him in regard to his own importance as a unit of the great reality. A great dictator has said, "There is an empty throne in nearly every country in Europe." This is true if people will not think, but be led by other minds who assume the power of dictatorship. The student should know that in the astral sheath surrounding the physical body, this is the coarser envelope of passion and desire. His lower thoughts attract intelligences of evil nature to its fluidic and translucent substance, and there derange the mental body by impressing their thoughts into it, and so weakening the character thus assailed. These spirits can foretell many interesting things and give us secret information in order to bind us to them, though there is little of real worth in such. Their astral fluids emit a very disagreeable odor, for they secrete and are nourished upon diseased forms of matter that we throw off. In still lower regions we find forms similar to lower astral forms, but without their intelligence. They hover over the deathbeds of people and exist upon decaying matter. They are of the vampire species, and the black magicians use its effect substance to direct into the atmosphere of their enemies. When we discuss the elemental nature, we will speak of how its lower counterpart is permeated with these atoms of destruction, atoms that stimulate ferocity and hatred in animals. In the future, the energy of this new age will inflict upon us a series of mental disorders, for those minds that will not respond to its wisdom and power will recoil from it. The secret enemy will have no method of averting its force, and those who have attracted this new energy will suffer from periods of illusion and depression. But the aspiring student will not be affected. He will be in tune with its vibration and will render its homage and respect. We are still under the spells the magicians of the past have cast over us. The children of the secret enemy speak of their evil works as though they were great virtues. Man easily degenerates when in the power of the secret enemy. It preys upon the burning furnace of his desire, and when he weakens, he is lost and sometimes cannot regain contact with his innermost for 2 or 3 lives wherein he works out the karma of his evil desire. Our creative forces are made to be preserved and not dissipated, for stored energy is a wealth that can ennoble our characters. Beware the person who follows his appetite with unhealthy passion and desire. He endangers his own health besides the health of those about him. The secret enemy often gives those who indulge in dissipation greater opportunities to spread their foulness, only then being more easily directed to perform deeds of evil to which the normal and balanced mind would never succumb. This dark power will, when possible, consume its victim by disease, if it cannot control you when you are poor. But recognize that you possess qualities that will respond to its direction. It will make you rich, for then you can scatter greater seeds of destruction, and such evil will live generations after. Many who have attained a great power, fame, and reputation have often been stimulated and worked under its authority. In order to collect their instruments, the schools of the black magician make sex worship one of their principal teachings. The advocate previously mentioned is an atom of great intelligence that always stands in the presence of the reality. and if we are serious and faithful in our aspiration for union with our innermost after we have entered our secondary system and re-experienced our past, it pleads that we should be forgiven our past misdeeds. When this happens, a man is reborn. This advocate is a great shield of protection for the sincere student, but if we desire, it will permit us to work for the secret enemy. If we do so, we cannot come under its protection in this lifetime. We alone must choose our path, the right or the left, the good or the evil. The astral sheath. Man has brought over the astral sheath from a remote past, and like the fetus in its early stage, it represents man's past submerged worlds of consciousness. If the student immerses himself in its atomic structure, it will revert him to his lower passions and desires. It is through yoga practice that we free ourselves from its domination. Its several strands are entwined into one cord attached to the navel. Gravity affects it, and its greatest densities are collected into a sac-like formation that extends below the feet, as in this illustration. The atomic intelligence of this sac possesses the knowledge of good and evil. Its several strands are entwined into one cord attached to the navel. Gravity affects it, and its greatest densities are collected into a sac-like formation that extends below the feet, as in this illustration. The atomic intelligence of this sac possesses the knowledge of good and evil.